Has everybody stopped vomiting? Is everyone okay? We're going to go into the Roottrees are dead today. Spank the web developers. Look, coming in from the VOD, because I know that there's people who watch this as a VOD. If you're wondering why we're vomiting and why we're spanking web developers, I'm not going to explain it. You just have to be here. You just have to be here. Or you gotta go check out the third channel that has all the cuts of the pre-stream stuff. Over the Roottrees are dead. How many channels does this guy have? How many views does this guy have? Why does he have why does he have more channels than he has views? I'm gonna play Roblox. Fuck this shit. Last time we left off this game, I have no clue. Actually, I have no clue what happened last time we left off. I've had no new revelations. Okay, I showered. Okay, ever since we stopped playing this game, I've showered every single day. That's a feat that you wouldn't have expected, okay? But I showered multiple times, and I still haven't found anything new about this game. And so I actually do wonder what we're going to do. Because last time we left off, we did figure out this entire line. I do remember figuring out the entire line of the Clementine, Lisa, all the way down to the baby cam, right? And I said, woo, and then we stopped. I got mostly the Guy Hudson in the previous one with Susan. With Susie, but now I don't know how to go with Bess. This I've been racking my brain over for a long time. And my only guess is we need to find an obituary that says where she died. Because recently, I was thinking about what happens when I die. This is a very relevant story, okay? When you die, do you even know what happens? No, because you're dead, but also because nobody thinks about it, right? The funeral is the easiest part. What are they gonna say about you in the obituary? I know what my family's gonna say, and I'm not looking forward to it. So think about that. What are they gonna say about you in your obituary? And so I open the newspaper and I look at the obituaries. You know what? Let's do it together, live. All right? Obituaries, Montreal. Well, not Montreal. We need to look at English speaking. Calgary. Obituaries in the Calgary Herald. Okay? This is what I need to find in order to figure out who Bess Williams' family is, because every obituary talks about their family. Why is there a featured? You can't make this up. You can't make this up. A featured obituary. Hey, check out these dead people. You can't make this up, dude. You can't make this up. You can't make this up, Jimmy. Why are you featured? Jimmy, why are you featured? Highlight montage next. Holy shit. Oh god. Just, oh my god. To Jimmy's family, your father looks like a great man, and I'm sorry for laughing at his death. But why is he featured? But this is why we need to find an obituary for Bess Williams, okay? Surely they must have featured Bess Williams, right? Jimmy passed away peacefully, surrounded by his loving family. It talks about their birth dates. Like, if these obituaries give you so much information. And the key is that they always say that Jimmy is survived by his loving wife, Viola, 4 children, 4 stepchildren, and several grandchildren and great-grandchildren. That's what I mean by, like, it's possible for you to find information from... No! Don't do this. I swear to God, if any of you go to the guest book and fuck up Jimmy's day, I'm gonna fuck you up. Don't fuck with Jimmy. Don't fuck with his obituary, okay? He was an example. He was an example. But that's what I need here. I need to find the obituary to figure out what's going on. And actually... maybe there's a Roottree obituary. Okay, well. Is there really no obituary here? They're like deaths? Death? Roottree? I don't really know how to find this stuff. But yeah, this is where I'm lost. Because I don't really know what to do. And I need to figure this out quickly. Because we have to sort of like because we're so close to finishing, and I think what we need to do is go piece by piece through every single piece of evidence that we have so far, because there's probably things that I didn't explore fully that would lead us to the right places to find more information. Because I think what happened is that the game wanted you to find Elias first, because you get the book 6 pieces first. You're supposed to do this first. I did the hardest thing again first, and it always happens to me. So we're gonna go number 1. W. Jimmy. Oh God, W. Jimmy. I just need a moment. Like, why was he featured? Like, who? Like, who at the funeral home is sitting there being like, yep, this one's good, I'll put this up on the website. Like, it doesn't make any sense, man. It doesn't make any sense. Like, in what world? Is that the same? Is that true of every obituary? Like, if I go to Toronto, on the Star, is there a featured section? Oh my God, chat, it almost has the exact same layout. But I think Toronto, look, it's the exact same layout. It's actually the exact same layout. Calgary obituaries. It is the same layout, but look what's missing. They removed the featured section because they recognized that this isn't good to have. This isn't a good thing to have. We don't need a featured obituary. I don't know why this is here. Oh man, oh man, oh man. That's some good stuff right there. I'm gonna check out the obituary more often. Actually, I did have my coworker. She was really into the obituary. Like, she would often tell me about who's like dead now. And I always sort of like looked at it like, why? But now I recognize why, because she always talked about the Calgary one. It's why that one came to mind. I get now why she looked at it, because they feature people. It has like a highlight video. Okay, is there any new piece of evidence here that we need? I don't really know. Sam Madsen, 6 pieces, unwrapping America's Sweetest Family. Unwrapping America's Sweetest Family. I don't think this is here. Maybe I can search that up, actually. 6 pieces? Sam Madsen. 6 pieces. Newest book, Family Things, Edward Clancy, Roottrees. Oh wait, Sam's father, Edward Clancy, Roottrees, and John Miller. Wait, maybe we can find information on John Miller now, right? Because before we didn't get information about them because, you know, they didn't like it. But now we can find John Miller or Clancy Edward Roottrees. Oh, where? The Clancy Trust. I already bookmarked this, so I know about this. Sam's book, right? So I already read this, right? This was when he was pushed over to the public side, and then Clark took over and was working with her. What about this? All Your Problems by 5 Ps. This is the only single from 5 Ps. It received some airplay, but didn't make a big splash critically or commercially. 5 Ps coming at you, root of all your problems. Somehow we're sinners because we didn't earn it. Bring the choir in. You save money. Yada 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 yada. Yada 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 yada. Man, they really messed up Clark, eh? Today, August 3rd, 1999, there was a knock at your door. Yep. So we saw this. He's trying to work with Sam. The company I hired to help us with the Clancy Trust is busy pouring through the entire family sisters. What's people that they may have had contact with that said the family is not particularly happy with us and doing but slow things down, right? With them as a high profile, that's why they hired me. Keep in mind, that's why we're here with a DNA test, right? Start sorting through infidelities. So some of the women have even cheated, so we know that some of the women have cheated too. I'll be blunt, I'm no stranger to infidelity. Yep. I know you've cheated. A baby photo. 1-time scammer. Wait, this is Cam Lincoln. So we know about Cam Lincoln. What's this? Die. Fry Die. This is the restaurant with the kids. I've already solved them, so I don't really know if I need them. Can the vegetarian diet be trending? Sitting down with the Garlands, the new boys in Boston. Did I solve their mother? Where's your mother? I solved their mother. She's a farmer. Confidential. We'll go over this last because there's a lot here. Is anything here? Schoolbound Publishing. Excerpts from the Diaries of a Rootree. Could I be a vegan? I would gladly do so. Because for me, it's like the argument here. So look, okay, but the argument of going to veganism does make sense. Even though in nature animals eat animals, in a way, as humans with the ability to think and the ability to synthesize our own nutrients to survive, it does imply that we could use our powers for the greater good, right? And in a way, not only just remove us, well, not really remove, well, there is a risk of like removing ourselves from the food chain and what that happens, but maybe it's better than what happened to the bison, where we hunted them down and we ate them all, right? So there is sort of like I do agree with the moral argument. The reason why, and I talked about this before, that I don't do it is because I'm selfish. I'm selfish, and I don't know how to make the dishes that I do enjoy without the meat. I do limit my meat intake because there's a lot of things about the meat industry that's like kind of wacky, of like, you know, a lot of greenhouse gases. The meat ends up being like if I can avoid it, that's like, you know, another life that doesn't have to go towards it, right? Like, it's like I can sort of like do my part. And honestly, the less money that we subsidize towards it, we can subsidize towards other things that maybe give more value as a whole. Because I'm pretty sure with the money that you have with it or something, you could probably grow way more beans, right? But I also don't look down on people who still eat meat, because it's like, you know, it's a very difficult choice to step away from it. So like, I could be vegan, but I choose not to, because I enjoy the taste of meat in the dishes that I grow up with and that I still enjoy eating. When that stops, I'll probably go towards more of a vegetable diet, but I eat most of my food as vegetables anyways. Like, I mostly eat vegetables. I just really love the taste of steak. Like, if I could bite into a cow raw, I probably would. And if it didn't give me parasites. Or if it didn't, like, scream. Like, the fact that it screams puts me off of that, really. Diaries of a Rootree. Maybe, did I ever get that? Viewer. Viewer, what the fuck? The cow's being eaten. Streamer, what are you doing? Lauren Rootree. Diaries of a Rootree. What? Diary? Diaries of a Rootree. I guess that's not really... I guess the other title's the same. Butler County Times. Do I have Butler County Times already? Is my periodicals? Let's see. I do. What else is there? But yeah, I have thought about making the transition a couple of times. But the problem is just... Yeah, it's just that's a selfishness. Like, it's hard, again, like, it's my cultural dishes, right, that I really do enjoy, that connect me to my culture as well. It's hard to figure out how to cook them without meat. Like, it's pretty hard. Some of them I figured out a good substitution with tofu, but others it's like it's really hard to do without, say, like a fish. Like, I'm still trying to figure out how do you replicate or replace a fish well, that the dish still tastes good, right? So. Fish. What's this? Hello from Bess Williams, Flavio. Fan photo. Yep, how about this? I've already got them. Floral and then non-floral. Yeah, okay, that's good. Holding a pen. Yep. You. What the hell does that mean? That's Lacey. Where was that? No, that's just a clipboard. Glasses, but why is the clipboard text rendered so nicely? It's almost as if it wants you to read it. The problem is I can't see, like I'm blind. She has no ring. We know that she's not married. We know that actually we've already solved her. I've already solved her. I already know what's going on. What about this? Miami Print Museum. We know about the museum. We know about the statue. I need to go to the Miami Times. I need to find information about Miami. Wait a minute, do I have anything about Miami? Miami Times. Miami Prince Museum. How do I go from here to Miami to Bess Williams? Unknown author, the Miami Sunday, a now defunct... I feel like Cuba by Cubans is for sure like a real thing. Miami Mercury Sunday. Miami Mercury Sunday, which folded, lasted from only one. Quirky was the outcome of a merging of two. How about we do... Why don't we just do with this? Could you be vegan, chat? And I wonder what your reason is for it too. Not to bemoan you, but you know, it's interesting to hear other people's opinions on it. I'm like, I would want to say I'm like 60%, no, well, 75% of the way there. I've got a lot of really, like, I've got mostly a lot of vegetable dishes in my repertoire, so I feel like I'm pretty close. I just need to go even further. Okay, maybe this is a dead end. Wish we could go somewhere from there. Okay, you have a battle bot? Sure. You have a child? Yeah, sure. You're in college. You're not a child anymore. You're just a weird adult. You. Clock, time. We solved this whole tree, so this doesn't matter anymore. Her guitar has a clementine on it, and there's a piano. Uh-huh. He's in jail. Uh-huh. Multnomah County Corrections Division. Multnomah County. I feel like I searched this last time and nothing came out. Is a county in Portland, Oregon. Portland, Oregon. Portland, Oregon. Multnomah County Corrections Division. You wouldn't fully. You can eat less meat, sure, but the nutrients in meat is too OP. That's the hard part. Yeah, the other hard part is like getting that same nutrient profile. Like it takes a surprising amount of supplements, and it's not like supplements are like the easiest thing to like throw in there, if that makes sense. Nor is it necessarily the like it doesn't really feel necessarily the safest, because it really depends on your food board and how good it is at like making sure that the shit that you put into your mouth is good for you. So yeah, and even then it's like, do you really know how much you're missing? Like if I go any heavier, I would have to go like, because I do know some like very all-in vegans, and they mentioned they have to go for like blood tests fairly often, like, you know, every now and then, just to make sure that they're not falling behind on certain things. However, you can substitute a lot of it, but the problem then is like, to get that same amount, you have to like use these ingredients which have different flavor profiles, which then throw off the dishes that you might already know. It's like you have to come up with some level of ingenuity to figure out how to make some dishes work, if that makes sense. And that's a little tough to ask of normal people, I think. Like your average person, News Time Weekly. Wait, did I ever get that? Like your average person probably isn't going to be able to remix a dish in a way that captures the same flavors with this new ingredient well, and so it may even be more friction than we realize, right? Like that alone, I think, is a huge thing that holds people back from trying it. I've already got this. So we go here. We have News Time. He's over here. He's looking at him. He's got the flag on his tie. Charlatans and thieves. Miracle Roottrees fights back. But this is all for show, because he doesn't actually care about that. He actually hates that, because he's just as bad as his family. 1999. I got this. I got all of these. I even got Anonymom. But why did so Anonymom, the DNA test proved that she wasn't. But how does she know the story, I wonder? I have her corporate composition photography. I've already got them, because that was the husband. Big Sass Sea Bass. Basil Bub. I got this. This utensil will help you lose 50 pounds. Satanic messages. I got that. I've already got her tattoo, so I know who she is. She's was she Susie, or was she? Yeah, she was Susie, right? Was she Susie? Who is she again? Who did I peg her as being? Right, I pegged her as being Susie. Right, Susan. But I don't know her name. The problem is I don't know her name. Business Watch. Something of the year. Right, Watchman of the Year. That's her over there. That's Joanna. I think that's her name. Joanna Garland. Yeah, we already got all of this. Where do I go from here? How do I figure any of this out? How do I figure any of this out? Lauren's other books, historic romance novels, were not very useful on their own, though could lead to other information. Sam and her father were cryptically mentioned in a book about historical letters. What? Oh, right. Book about historical letters being the diaries, right? Wait, Ron and Robbie, 5 presidents. Yeah. Maybe we should search up Stephanie Jones. I wonder if there's anything new with her. Clementine, U.S. Army. She's crying because of the arm thing. You yourself don't like the idea of making veggies taste like meat, like burger patties. No, it's not about like tasting like meat. You misunderstand me. Listen carefully to what I say. It's about getting the dishes to fit with the new flavor profile. It's not about molding the vegetables that taste like meat. But it's the same problem that you point towards, that they're two different things, and thus they have two different ways of being eaten. They have two different flavor profiles. They have two different texture profiles. How do you then incorporate that into the base flavor of whatever dish it is? It gets more complicated the more that your dish has more sauces, which in my culture is like mostly sauces. So it's like the sauces might work with, say, meat because it doesn't necessarily coat and soak into it. It sort of forms a layer outside of it. But when you put something in, like, say, tofu that's like more permeable and it can soak up the sauce, it gets a bit too salty. So it's like, how do you actually get it to work? And also, like, the flavor of the tofu itself might even conflict with the flavor of the sauce. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, that's what I'm getting at. I'm not trying to make like a replication of the meat. I'm trying to get it to fit with the flavor profile so that everything is still balanced, but with this new element to it. That's a complexity that I don't think home chefs can actually do. Your average home chef is following a recipe and trying to make it, and like they have no clue what it tastes like, so they have no clue if it's on or like off, right? That's what I'm getting at. I do agree that you shouldn't have, or you shouldn't try to replicate the flavor of meat like that. I still feel like these 3 in the background are important. You know? Like, really important. Because why are they here? I wrote down a note about this 3 in the background, and Clark actually did hint towards this. So both of these people in the background do look like women. And Clark did mention that, you know, maybe there's like people cheating in the family. What if that's like an adopted son? Who do we know that's adopted within a tree? No, they're bought. So this is not Clementine Mark. But there's an adoption thing over here, so maybe it's over here. I'm not sure. Oh, you weren't relating it to what I said. Just that you mean seeing beyond meat and vegan cheese products is a weird to you. Well, you gotta say that. Okay, now we circle back to the idea of if you write an ambiguous statement, and you can't be like, you have to accept that when it is read ambiguously, that's on you. But I do agree. I do agree that it is weird to see the Beyond Meat stuff, yeah. Like, it's like, it feels like the wrong angle, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it makes sense because, again, you're already an above average home person. You already eat in an above average way. That is to say, you fat fuck. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But like, it's you already handle it in a way that most people don't. Most people are going to be like, oh, it doesn't taste like meat or feel like meat, I'm not going to eat it. A lot of people need that. Like, a lot of people need that feeling of like, oh yes, this is it. Like, this is the meat. Like, it's, so, you know, it has to be like that. Otherwise, it freaks them out, right? So, I get why they do it. But I do agree that in the end, it's not going to matter much. But I do think it's worth having because if basically, the larger the gate, the lazier the keeper, the easier the journey, the easier the migration, right? I think it's worth it. It's like a bird. You know, it needs no wind. It needs to just fly and not die. Stephanie Jones. Ho ho! It seems Brian Jones has been busy updating Stephanie Jones's campaign website. 2 new sections exist. The first is baby photo. There you see a picture of their new family together at the hospital. According to the site, our daughter was named after her grandmother, which ended up being very fitting considering she was born the night before Christmas. The second is what's next. There's not much of substance there right now. I need to sneeze. I'm okay. You get the idea of polling more people for more vegan food, but you wonder how effective it actually is. That's a good point, actually. Yeah, I am curious about how effective it is. But I think the effectiveness is something that we won't see in our lifetimes, because there's two angles to it, right? There's the on-ramp into accepting the fact that fake meat can exist. And that's an on-ramp that I think is still ongoing. Like, we are in the middle of that on-ramp of accepting that the existence of it exists, right? And we know from history, and this game is a great example. The story of this game is a great example. The acceptance of the existence of something is oftentimes the hardest thing to get across. That alone is already a major hurdle. And then once you finish that, then everything sort of comes easier. But that first step, that's the hard part. The first step is accepting that this is possible. And this is knowing that veganism has been a thing since maybe the dawn of time. It's just a matter of of survival, right? Like we've never not always had, but like we haven't always had access to like meat. So having access to this new like meat replacement, the acceptance of the existence of it, we're in that stage, and I don't think that will ever change for the next like maybe 50 years. Most of us will be dead by then. I won't, because I'm built different. Then we get into the whole, okay, now people can replace most of their diets with the fake meat because there's so many different variations of it. And in a way, maybe it'll even be cost equal or even more cost effective in the long run. Then we get into that phase of like, now people start to convert. I think right now it's still a novelty. At this stage, it's a novelty, and we won't get to that point yet for another 50 years, just because, again, it's just a mindset change. It's just, people have a really hard time changing. And that's not even talking about like lab-grown meat. I still think lab-grown meat is going to be the future, because you still will want to eat meat, but now you have no moral quandary. You simply have a science one, where how do you stop the meat from growing after you've eaten it? That's a problem, right? Every game that we've ever played so far on this channel that has a horror bend has played with the idea of meat that doesn't stop growing, right? POV, I pull my pants down and we're in bed, and you say, wow, it really doesn't stop growing. Sorry, I just had to make that stupid joke. I'm so sorry. I was thinking really hard about how to turn that into like a sex joke, because I'm like, it feels like very close to a sexual joke. Wowie. Oh, hey, babe emoji, Shrek emoji, wowie. Oh, man. But yeah, that's how I feel about it. But it is a good question to ask, but I think it's worth looking at it as a longer term scale thing. Because again, it took us a long time to move away from leaded gasoline. Like it took a long. Some walls still have asbestos. Some gas still has lead. Some of you still drink glue to this day. The second is what's next. Sorry, let's just continue reading. There's not much of substance there right now, but it lists some small accomplishments and finishes with a recent rise in popularity and controversy surrounding my extended family. With the recent rise, there's been some extra attention on me. Stay tuned for announcements in the coming months, but I plan to use this publicity to accomplish bigger and better things. So, I only searched her because this little recap mentioned her, like the family recap mentioned her, but I should be doing this more. Because how many people have cheated in this family? And even, where does she come from? What family line does she come from? Because, oh my god, I think I understand the implications. The implication is we're going to figure out where she came from. Because remember, she is the daughter of Morden and Landon Mark. But why is that important? Wait, unless this is a red herring. This could be a red herring, actually. Carpenter glue is the best. Yes, some of you have your favorite glue flavors. I like Gorilla Glue. That way I can, just leave. Like, you just leave. Brian Jones posted this photo of his family together in the hospital following the birth of a newborn girl. His new daughter is wearing an adorable little Santa hat, and his wife Stephanie is giving her signature thumbs up move for her campaign literature. Ma'am, You don't need to work. You just gave birth. You just popped the baby out. You can just live your life with your daughter and your family. She's a trooper. Well, no, don't put the Y vibe inside the cum jar. No. So why? Okay, what other old names can we search up? There's a lot of. Where's the recap? The recap is very important, actually. We need to do the recap time. Okay, so recap. That's a new one, but we need the full recap. Which one is it? This one. No, it's not this one. Where's the recap? Oh, this one. Here we go. Sorry. Okay, below is a reminder of some notable moments. The Roottrees Candy Company. Let's search up this, because I do need to go down that route to figure out what happened to Elias. Gone is any history focused on Elias Roottrees, but maybe that's why they wanted to go back. Gone is any history of Elias Roottrees, but that history is probably important. That's why we can show older. The official website is unstable due to the popularity it's been having. You find a direct link to the history section that manages to work momentarily. Wait. Yeah, okay, so we look at this. Was founded by Elias Roottrees after he married his wife Gwyneth, whose family owned a small farm called the Anderson Maple Farm. Right? And then Gwyneth Anderson. For reasons that aren't explained on the page, there's no CEO, yada yada. Okay, so we know this. Carl Roottrees, he's dead. 5 pieces. Maybe there's something new about 5 pieces. 5 pieces. Nope. Carl Roottrees. Carl Roottrees, Christine Valdez, who claims to have been Christine Valdez. Who claims to have been Carl's high school sweetheart. She does not make a claim about having any child with him. She just appeared to be paid to talk about his home life. Christine Valdez. Ms. Christine Valdez, what are you doing over here, Christine Valdez? Piketty, News Time. She was paid to talk about him. So I wonder if we can find her name somewhere. Presumably, we might be able to. Presumably. Because if they were talking about it, maybe she shows up in some place. Teen Blast! No. Though there was something interesting that I was just thinking about. 5 pieces is here. Sweet History of Candy, Volume 2 by Charles Lee. You think Charles Lee is still alive? Maybe he made a part 3 now. You know what I mean? Cashed in on the hype. Volume 3, 2, 1. Okay, well, there's nothing. What other recap thing is there? Like, we have to go all the way back. Most of the action took place in or around Butler County, Pennsylvania. Butler County. Pennsylvania. What is my top 3 veggies? For you, it's carrot, cucumber, and romaine lettuce. I'm about to say shit that you have never heard of in your life. And maybe that's a good thing. Bok choy. It's like, whoa, what the fuck is that? What the? Bok choy, water spinach, bamboo shoots. Oh, actually, no. Replace the water spinach with bitter melon. If I could eat bamboo shoots, bitter melon, and bok choy for the rest of my life, I'd be happy. That's all I need. Bitter melon in sparing amounts. I think it needs like a sauce and like a texture. Like it would need sauce and mushrooms to really make it good. But bok choy, bamboo shoots. I'm like a panda bear. Next time listen, if you ever invite me to your backyard, it's over. It's over. It's like, what happened to what happened to my trees? All my trees are gone. No. Sorry, buddy. It's all mine now. I'm going to eat it all. Spider Search was named as one of the most up-to-date, but modern technology has its limits. Rain and Roottrees. Hey, wait. The website you used to initially place them is still up, though instead of a cherry, it's a oh right. Because this is now a A memorial. A memorial. So we also know this about their scholarship. Right. We also know Brenda White. Wait a minute. Brenda White, currently managed by a designer that is Brenda White's second in command. I feel like that's important to know. No? I feel like that's very important. The website is likely down. You find countless stamps. This is the old page. We never actually saw this on the old page. So, head designer appeared on one thing. Carly Roottrees, yada yada. Okay, and then we see this. Raina mentions all of them. Collect design enough to mention. Right, trivia page. Okay. Teach them to go to a real thing. It's managed by Ruby Legal. Maybe Ruby is a part of this. Like, maybe Ruby's having sex. You having sex? The Ruby Legal Enterprise Group against Cecily Sanchez, Ruby Spratt. Are you having sex? There's a legal company. So we've already read all of this. Mideastern University. Wait, Mideastern? Isn't that... Graduate from the top of the class. This didn't go over well, right? She she gave a speech that like hated them, but it was kind of good because it was like it was a way for her to fight back. Team Blast. Portland Telegraph. What? She was featured in an Portland Telegraph when she was in high school. An article called "Local Teen Making Change for Foster Care System." According to the article, Ruby Spratt grew up in the foster care system, was apparently the valedictorian of a school, and was as a Girl Scout who, at the time of the article, was earning her gold award. This required a project to help the community, and Ruby chose to raise money to build a fountain she called Foster Fountain. The fountain has a few small pedestals that stick up high above the water. People expected to toss coins into the fountain for good luck, and would be encouraged to aim for the top of the pedestals. All the coins straight from the bottom are slated to be donated to Portland's foster care system. A coalition of local businesses that sponsor the fountain have committed to matching any of the donations that successfully land on the targets. Foster Fountain. The Fountain of Youths, also known as Foster Fountain, is a fountain found in a small park in Portland. All the proceeds from change thrown into the fountain are donated to the foster care system. You've never eaten bok choy or bitter melon, don't even seem like you can get them there. That's sad, because I feel like bok choy is a great thing to have. Bitter melon, you're not missing out on much. Bitter melon is like a very acquired taste. As you can tell by the name, it's incredibly bitter. It's actually one of the most bitter, like it tastes really, it's very hard to want to eat, IMO, and it's probably better for you not to have it. But, you know, it is good. Like, it is tasty to have, and it's really good as a balance to other ingredients, right? It's a bit like a char. Like with the right amount of bitter melon, you can use it almost like char on like a nice meat, where you have like a burn on the outside, and it adds this like nice bitter, like cancerous flavor to it. It's like leaded gasoline, right? Or like, you know, the Roman lead. It's like Romans, lead, and wine. They knew what was up. Is pak chor the same thing? I've heard of it being the same thing. I'm pretty sure it's exactly the same thing, but maybe the spelling is just slightly different. But at the same time, I don't know for sure, because like I've only ever known it by bok choy, and I've only seen pak choy as like the quote unquote English spelling within like the menus, where it's like, yeah, it's called pak choy here, and I'm like, is this this thing? And then I pronounce out, and then I say it in my language, and they're like, yeah, it's the same thing. So I don't know if they're telling the truth or not, but let's assume that it's the same thing. If you can get that, then you basically have that. But even if it's not the same thing, it's probably basically the same thing. The key with it is you need to cook it till it's kind of soft, but not so soft that it's mushy, okay? The key is it still needs to have a bit of bounce. And you cook it very, very quickly. Like, you basically just blanch it very quickly, and then the leaves will get nice and soft. You then toss it in some like oil and soy sauce, maybe, and some like garlic if you want. And you just eat it. You can even grill it if you want, but I feel like grilling it is sort of a, you don't really need to take that much time. It's like, it's meant to be a very fast thing to whip up as like a thing that you eat with your rice. So, a website for Portland's Park and Recreations mentions under the trivia section that the Fountain of Youth was originally conceived by Ruby Spratt, an alumni of the foster care system. As more businesses signed on as sponsors, it grew in scope even beyond Spratt's original hopes. The fountain is unique because it has special targets that visitors can aim their coins towards. If a coin lands on one of these targets, each of the sponsored businesses matches it. This isn't a huge amount of money from each business, but more than 100 businesses have agreed to participate, so each penny becomes $1. Sounds interesting. It's really tasty. It's worth it to give it a try if you've never had it. It tastes nice too. Like it's not a bad flavor. It doesn't have any like bad notes for like flavors. The flavor profile is almost like very, very, very mildly sweet. Like it's like just a very small hint of it. But the key is that it's like very soft, but also crunchy. Like it's not chewy. That's what I'm getting at. The outer layer is like a nice crunch. You bite into it, it gets like soft inside. It's like nice and like very. It retains moisture well. So like when you have sauce with it, it's like the sauce sort of like seeps into it too. Like it's a nice well-rounded ingredient. The leaves can get kind of mushy again if you go too long. If you go at it at like a basic pace, it's not that bad. But if you go too long on the leaves, it can feel like you're eating, you know, like really, 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 really wet spinach. If you go too far, but again, just go very light with it, and you get a very nice flavor. And the best part too, the shape. Nobody talks about this. Meat does not have any cool shapes. Okay, maybe bones, but then in the middle of a bone is all the bone marrow, which while that tastes good, also wastes the space. All right, so you can't use it like a spoon. But vegetables, when you look at the leaf of a bok choy, it's and you look at the stem, the white part, it's the perfect shape to hold a sauce. You know what I mean? Like it's a perfect shape to hold some kind of sauce in it, and you can use that shape to hold anything. I've used it to hold rice. I've used it to hold meat. I've used it to hold sauce. I've used it to hold my hopes and dreams. That's bok choy to me. I should be like a motivational speaker. A motivational speaker for like, you know, bok choy. This is the power of bok choy. Hey, we go, Fountain of Youths. You find an article about the dedication ceremony for the local part of the Portland landmark of the Fountain of Youths. Apparently, at the unveiling of the fountain, the mayor of Portland made a speech, and there were performances by multiple local entertainers, as well as a ribbon cutting from the people most instrumental in bringing the fountain into fruition. The article calls out all the performers and speakers, with the exception of the mayor, were foster care alumni, most of them grouped together as close friends. It includes poets, musicians, and dancers. Dirty Davy was listed as one of the musicians. Oh, shit. Wait. They grew up as close friends. What? Why is this important? Why is this important? This implies a link between Ruby Sprat and Dirty Davy. What are these emotes? Donk, sad, green salad. Leafy green, let's go. Bok choy! Bok choy! This implies a link between Ruby Sprat and Dirty Davy, who were both parentless. Haha. This also implies a motive for Ruby Sprat for her to get everybody in on the Clancid Trust. And this also brings into question something that I never thought about before. Why was Ruby Sprat pegged? Fingered as the new handler for the Clancid Trust. This also begs the question, does this mean we can't trust their DNA tests? Does this mean that Anonymom is actually the real person who needed the thing? Is actually the real person who should be on the Clancid Trust and not 5Ps? Or this also makes me wonder, why was Ruby Sprat in foster care too? Did her parents really die? Or was she abandoned? Like Dirty Davy after a midnight tryst. I don't know if you've had bok choy, but you do like bamboo shoots and water chestnuts. Oh shit, you're right. Water chestnuts are really good. What the frick is water chestnut? Sorry, I'm like reading the messages so slow because I'm so into the writing. Okay, so first off, good choices. Bamboo shoots are really tasty. You honestly should try bamboo shoots too. I know it's bamboo, but the reason why people eat the shoots is because they're soft and they're very nice. But they have a nice little like crunchiness to them, and their flavor, it's almost like milky in a way. It's very nice. Water chestnuts are just nuts. It's literally just nuts. It's like, but it's like a soft nut. It's weird. I need to sneeze. It's a very soft, well, not soft. It's like still crunchy, but the key is that it's very watery. Like it is actually true to its name, kind of watery. It has a slightly sweet kind of flavor to it, not saccharine, very like mildly, almost like swampy sweet, if that makes sense, given it its like growing nature. And on the outside, it looks like what the bombs look like in Zelda. I'm not kidding you. Water chestnuts look like what the bombs look like within Zelda. I wouldn't be surprised if that wasn't... Like, I would be surprised if that wasn't the inspiration. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure it is the inspiration for it. Really good with some sauces. Really good, just, you know... It's basically good even by itself. You can even eat it by itself, but it is fairly plain. Aquatic vegetable, not a nut. Wait, really? Wait, what constitutes like a nut? What constitutes like a nut? Well, either way, very tasty, and you should try it. You know what? An aquatic vegetable sounds even tastier. So you know what? I see nothing wrong with that. But I will say eating it plain is very plain. Like, you should have some sauce with it. You can eat it plain. It's not the worst thing ever. Like, you can eat it as like a snack, but I don't know why you would. Like, I don't really know why you would. It's like, You've tried bamboo shoots. They tasted like spruce needles to me. Well, now I want to try a spruce needle because I do know that you can't eat those. But I've never had the option of like eating them, so I do want to try them. You actually, that does remind me. There was one time when I did go to like a camping thing, and they were teaching us how to eat stuff, right? And I learned how to find a specific worm to eat. And ever since then, I've been looking for that high. Ever since. Like, I really want to eat that worm again. It tasted very sweet. Anyway, so the Fountain of Youth. Okay, so this all brings into question what this is. So I think Ruby Sprat is either both an insider or she knows more than she's letting on. Like, I feel like Ruby Sprat is a much more important person in this whole scheme of things than I mean, no. Like, there's a very good chance that she's probably a child of one of the people, right? Ruby Legal Enterprises. So we already know this. There's an older version? What? Oh, right, the older version. Whereas now it's like this, right? But then again, hard mango also tastes like needles to you. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what you're on then. You gotta like maybe shave your tongue. Like maybe you like there's this thing that you can buy. You can shave the top of your tongue so you get all that like all the cum off of it. You should do that. There's no way you think hard mango tastes like needles, unless what if spruce needles just what if spruce needles is like the superfood? What if like what if you know the secret to a superfood that no one knows about is eating spruce needles, and it's like the best tasting flavor out there, but we just don't know. It's still cold outside. It's actually even colder today. After stream, I'm gonna drive up to the mountain, like Blue Mountain, for like 3 hours. I'm gonna find a random spruce tree and I'm just gonna eat it. I'm just gonna eat the tree, okay? I'll report back on my results. Wait a minute, look. Ruby actually approached the Roottrees. This is actually good to know. In late March, after the Roottree rift, an accomplished but relatively low-profile lawyer She offered to work for very little money so long as she could be a public face to build her reputation. Wait a minute. I wonder. I feel like she's lying in some way. Her first move as a sort of trial run was to help them write a draft. They're now a part of many things, setting up even scholarships. I feel like there is a part of me that says that maybe Ruby Sprat came into the thing to sort of fake the answers, but I don't think she's bad. She doesn't seem like a bad person. I think specifically she came in, maybe, you know what, I don't think she came in to fake it, but there's a possibility that that's true, so I need to be aware of that. Key is that she's probably just a child of one of the Roottrees. They just wanted to use the emote. Yeah, sorry. Apparently your name is. Yeah, sorry. I shouldn't have made your name the herb. So News Time briefly covered a lawsuit between Ruby Sprat and Piketty magazine surrounding Cecily Sanchez. They said that Cecily didn't have the rights to redistribute the photos in the magazine of Guy Hudson. Piketty apparently announced that they'd be pulling their issue the following day, the moment that Ruby Legal Enterprises threatened them. This caused the issue to sell even faster than any other in the magazine's history, though only for a day. Even people that would never have normally purchased it went out of their way to buy one, just in case it would be worth something someday. Especially caught the eye of conspiracy theorists who assumed that anything worth suing over would have been hiding something. An expert legal analyst from Newstime states it was unlikely that Ruby could have had the story pulled if it had gone to court, and Piketty likely got more eyes on it than if... Piketty likely got more eyes on it than it would have if the Roottrees just ignored the story. That's... Unlikely if it had gone to port and Piketty... Game theory. Ruby knew this because she's a thorough lawyer who excels at what she does, and did this in order to shine light on that particular story. Why? Because she is one of the hidden children of Guy Hudson. That's my theory. Because that is weird. She knew that couldn't have happened, but legal threats always happen, so it's easy to get things pulled for legal threats, right? And legal threats are the easiest way to get someone to fold because, you know, it has a time cost to it. But if she knew it wouldn't go to court and she wasn't sure if Piketty was gonna fight them, why would she do it, right? It's a bit of a risky move to do it and then try to force it. So why did she do it? Because maybe she wanted people to read it. Maybe she wanted people to know about the family. Maybe she wanted people to know about Guy Hudson and Susie and all the people that he slept with. Susan. I feel like we're getting closer. Ruby Sprat, what a brat. Ruby Sprat, what a brat. Ruby Sprat, what a brat. Piketty, Silver Screen Magazine, Starlet. Teen Blast. Teen Blast honestly sounds weird to say. Like, it doesn't sound good, you know what I mean? Local teen making change for foster care system. Put this in as well. Okay, found there's a few small pedestals. Foster Fountain. Wait, we have the real name of it now. What was the real name of it? Right, we had the real name of it because we searched it up over here. Fountain of Youths. Right, and this is how we got to the Dirty Davy thing. Fountain of Youths. Do I do it? if it's something that I'm doing by default, do I do it? It's more annoying than it is fun to search for information at this moment. But if it makes certain puzzles significantly easier, maybe we shouldn't do it. Suffer. Foster Fountain. Suffer. Where else can I go? Like, how do I find any information? I feel like this Ruby Sprat line is not gonna go. It's not gonna go nowhere. Business Watch, the Ruby Legal Enterprises. Yes. You can't find much about the company from before this year, though all the articles tell the same tale. That the Roottrees internal law group was complicit in the cover-up, multiple ties. Ruby Sprat. Mid-Eastern University, expelled at school, scholarship Mid-Eastern, right? She went over there. Who else went to Mid-Eastern? Lucy Lang. What other, like, foster children are there? I need to find, like, homeless children. That's the key. That's the key. I think we just keep finding homeless children. And hope for the best. Other notable Roottrees such as Lauren Rootree, Miracle Rootree. Miracle Rootree. Right. Let's search him up. Let's search this motherfucker up. Let's go. Miracle is be a part of history again. Right. Jim Rootree. Jimmy Rootree. Sorry. Jim and Diamond apparently sent some mail out to Diamond's Dazzlers that mentioned that they didn't spend a lot of time near or around the candy company anymore, so they couldn't really comment on any recent news. A best of album did get released as CD during Roottreemania, while neither of them have performed recently. The couple did do a few signings at local record stores near their estates. Wow. During the question and answer sessions, Jim has stated he hasn't been inspired to write any new lyrics. As far as you can tell, Jim and Diamond's marriage is still going fine. There haven't been any rumors. Yeah, but you have a best of DVD. What's the name again? What's the thing again? Diamond LaRue. Diamond and the Lucky LaRues. Lucky. No, what is their new band? Diamond walked in on Clark with her youngest sister. Right. My father was connected. What's his band called again? Wait, I have a way to check. What's your band called? Jim and Diamond. It's literally called Jim and Diamond, really? Jim and Diamonda. How would I go to that fan site? Diamond's Dazzlers. Isn't a dazzler like the thing you say for when you have, like, you know, the it's a nipple tassel. Is it not a nipple tassel? I swear to God, it's a nipple tassel, no? Best of Jim and Diamond. Best of Jim and Diamond. Jim and Diamond. Jim Diamond. I want to hear your best of CD. Where's the best of CD, please? I'm begging you. Where's the best of? Surely there's something there. Surely there's something in best of DVD. Jim and Diamond, Team Blast, Telephoto, Clock, Rafferty, LaRue. Please, I'm begging you. I don't know anything. There's no information. Clock, Rafferty. There's no information anywhere. How am I gonna find any of this? I can't find anything. I'm not gonna be able to find any information. This family's gonna go broke. I'm gonna lose my inheritance money because I got the money. A life between wars. A life between wars. You've added it. There's a small passage that... Right, this was a life between wars. See, this must be how real detectives feel like. Like, I feel like I'm going crazy trying to figure all this stuff out. I feel like I'm going absurd. Like, I feel like my mind... I'm losing my mind. Because how do you... What do you... If you can't figure things out as a detective and your paycheck depends on it, what do you do? As a detective, are you allowed to threaten people? Like, hypothetical. Hypothetical, the Roottrees family is real, okay? I then kidnap the first Roottrees that I see, and I torture them for information. Is that illegal? What if I threaten to torture? Is that still illegal? I want you to think about that as I go get some water. Derby. We need to find the orphans. I know that's a crazy thing to say after coming back. I was just thinking about this while I was in the washroom, and also when I was getting the water, and I was just thinking, where's my water? Oh, BRB? Okay, sorry, I'm back. So I have my Nestea. But I was thinking about this, and I was like, okay, well, Ruby Sprat knows about Dirty Davy, and all the Fosters are friends. I was like, what other foster kids are there? And I was thinking to myself, why don't we just find more? But and then I was thinking back to the statement that I made of, like, you know, we have to find more of the homeless children. And I'm like, yes, we do. Like, think about this. Where do kids go when they have no place to go? A halfway home. Right? I don't know if that makes sense. Foster kids? Like, what the... Foster kids? Homeless children in Portland! How do I get to a... Okay, maybe this is a bad idea. Maybe I have no clue what's going on. Lauren Rafferty. Maybe her old books matter? Lauren Rafferty. Minor backlash. The reporter that tracked her down. I want to see her other books. Maybe her other books matter. Romance in the Court. Romance in Court. Romance novel. Clancy's lectures on Middle Ages. So, wait, this just told us about the fact that he was a thing. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we don't need the homeless children. Maybe the homeless children aren't important in the grand scheme of things. Lauren's two diaries are probably the most successful. Yeah, okay. That's 5 pieces of lies children could be found based on the initials. Carolyn Morden. Oh, actually, there's one thing. I want to search up Carolyn Morden. Stephanie Jones. Her husband had a website that he did. I think he had a website that he did. So we go, Stephanie Jones. Here we go. Stephanie apparently won her election, and it talks about the election that she won. Stephanie Landon. Small report detailing the sections. Butler County Times. Stephanie Landon. Stephanie Jones. Old version should have a picture of the website. Be sure to read the full article in the something Times. Brian Jones had a website, but I can't remember what it is. That's the problem, is I don't remember what his company was called. Landon lived in Butler County her whole life, so yeah, obviously, because she's a cousin, right? Sorry. What is the Carolyn Morden? We know about Carolyn Morden. Chef's signature? No. News Time. You can see. Bill Screen Magazine. Portland Telegraph. Carolyn Morden. We are reaching. Like, we are actually reaching so far at this point. I don't even know if it's possible for us to find anything useful. After the release of 6 pieces, Carolyn Morden did a television interview. Someone has uploaded a partial transcript of that interview on the television section of a messaging community. The transcript is only her answers and is missing the questions. It's creates a somewhat confusing reading experience, but does give you a bit more history about Carolyn and some of her family members. Cool. First new piece of evidence we had in a long time. In 45 minutes. 45 minutes. The Carolyn Morden interview. Miss Carolyn Morden, thank you for coming on the show. Thanks for having me. This was a cable news interview, a transcript of only Carolyn's answers when he posted on the site about television. Let's pretend like we can infer the questions, okay? Carolyn, thanks for joining me on the show today. Thanks for having me, says Carolyn. So, tell me a bit about yourself. Like, tell me a bit about your backstory. Why are you here? Why are you here? Well, I've never really fit into the family, so it didn't surprise me. She could have put me in if she wanted to talk about the time during my activism days when I almost got arrested for stealing the spark plugs of all of our tractors. But I don't really think it fit her narrative. What the fuck does that mean? She could have put me in if she wanted to talk about the time during my... What? She? Who's she? So, your mother. What's going on with... I never fit into the family, so... How do you feel about... Miss Carolyn, how do you feel about the fact that your mother hates you? I've never really fit into the family, so it didn't surprise me. That works. She could have put me in, which is weird. So why don't we say, Carolyn, it appears that your mother doesn't really like you, given that she tried to put you in jail. How does that make you feel? I've never really fit into the family, so it didn't surprise me. She could have put me in if she wanted to, so now it fits in, right? And the next answer is yes and no. They never tried to take me out, send me to live on a farm, if that's what you mean. But it was already pretty unpopular, and once everyone learned why I divorced my husband, few people paid me any attention. Do you feel like do you and your family still get along even after all of this? Yes and no. They never tried to kick me out or send me to live on a farm, if that's what you mean. But I was already pretty unpopular. Well, see, but why would she say this without prompting, right? So it's not just, do you feel like your family, do you feel like you'll ever, do you feel like you and your family get along, but then how do you lead into this? What's the question that leads into this? How, do you feel like your family are good people? Do you feel like they like you? Or like, do you feel like they treated you well? Do you feel like your family treated you or you well? Do you feel like your family treated you well? I'd be pretty mad if they treated me the way that they treated you. Yes and no, but I was already pretty unpopular, and once everyone learned, okay, so maybe that kind of works. She's my wife. So who is this Eloise person? This woman that you left your husband for? A woman? Really? Let's explain to us. Who is Eloise? This is 1999, so I need to really get into... Look, nobody gets mad at Leonardo DiCaprio for the things that he says in his movies, alright? He's just an actor, okay? He's just an actor acting, okay? I'm doing the same thing, alright? A woman? She's my wife. Not legally, but we've been together for half our lives. Call it what it is. I was 20 and I just had my daughter. I hate to look back at that time because I was a terrible mother for the first few years. I left my daughter with my ex-husband and followed Guy on a private jet to Europe. No. He lost a tooth and a client. I found love and a better understanding of who I was. Still, in our family's eyes, his trip was somehow more acceptable. Explain that. He followed Guy. Following somebody has two different meanings. You either go with them on the same trip, or you follow them because you want to spy on them. But also, third angle, incest. There's a possibility there's something going on over here, but then never mind, they should be married. So let's say no. Wait, so maybe this is actually her and the baby. Maybe this is... Because this is the update. Because they just had a child. Yeah, I'm stupid, sorry. Of course, this is them. They just had a child. What's your name again? Stephanie Jones. Stephanie Landon, sorry. You're a politician. Disgusting. You, what's your child's name? I don't know, but it is a baby. Jerry Seinfeld. What's the baby's name? What is the baby's name? Stephanie Jones. So, wait, okay, before we continue on with this transcript, Stephanie Jones, baby photo. What's next? I don't know. What's your baby's name? Her daughter was named after her grandmother. So, who's her grandmother? So, here, her grandmother, is it Carolyn or is it Eloise? So is it... I'm pretty sure it's Carolyn. What? Named after her grandmother, my fucking ass. Buddy old pal. Wait a minute. Buddy old pal, your grandmother it's more than Carolyn. Carolyn, but Carolyn isn't available as a first name. Carol Jones. Oh, that sounds stupid. I don't know if that's right. Baby names are stupid. I don't know anything about this game. I don't know anything. How am I supposed to find answers here? So she followed him, probably to stalk him, to be like, hey, what are you doing, you asshole? But then she also recognized that the family didn't care about his cheating, but the whole family knew about it. So the whole family knew about his cheating, or about his things. But at the same time, it wasn't really cheating, he was just being open. But at the same time, we know that he used it as a power move, so it was coercion, aka it was a power thing. Like, it is still, like, it is basically... It's basically like in the same. I forget the exact term for it, but it's in the same category as like sexual assault, where it's like you use your power to lord over somebody. So it is still that. So it is bad. But this doesn't mean that she followed him and was with him there. Did you like? So she's okay. So now we know about that. Really, I'm sorry to hear that. I didn't know that they felt that way. Seems like you and Guy Hudson were close, given that you followed him. Did you like Guy Hudson? No, I couldn't stand him. Our family wrote off his behavior like he was some huge fan of romance or women, but they didn't like the entire woman. That's a great sentence. I wish I played this yesterday on Women's Day, because I feel like people need to hear this, right? The world today likes the image of a woman. The world today loves the image of women. The world today doesn't like the rest of the woman. The emotions, the personalities, the thoughts, the feelings, like the life. If you stuck titties on a wooden board and a vagina at the bottom, that would be enough for the world. That's all the world really at the moment accepts. But we need to get to the point where the world accepts the whole woman. It was doubly awkward for me because he was more supportive than most. What? I slowly figured out it was because he assumed I would be as shallow as he was. Oh, thank God. Okay, thank God Guy Hudson is still bad. Anything nice? Anything else you could tell us about Guy Hudson? He was a workaholic. He seemed nice enough and did a good job. I didn't know him well. That was one of Sam's problems with her family. None of us did except Carl. Honestly, I get why she's pissed. Oh my God. Carl? Why did Carl know Guy Hudson? Well, because he's a president, though. What's the other thing? I'd rather not speak ill of the dead, not unless you want more stories about Guy. With Carl, though, all I can say is we used to be friends before they sent him to private school. He came back a lot judgier, as all private school kids are. It made sense when they made him president. He was a lot like my father after they disciplined the fun out of him. After I started protesting the farms, he stopped returning my calls. What else can you tell us about Guy Hudson? That's the question. Okay, so... Oh, well, he's harder to label. When I was a teenager, he was basically drunk or high or both all the time. He actually used to sell me pot. His problems with women were different than guys, but he never really judged me. I guess he knew it would be pretty hypocritical to judge anyone for anything. Back then, he was destructively unreliable in every way. But nowadays, he's just kind of boring and old. Prefer that to how he used to be. Now to Guy and Carl, but still a cautionary tale. I hope I'm never that boring and old. Wait. His problem with women were different than guys. Back then, he was destructively unreliable, and now he's just kind of boring and old. I prefer how he used to be, and to Guy and Carl. Okay, so this is talking about Clark. And then your cousin, Clark. Can you tell me more about him? Yeah, oh, and well, he's hard to label. Yeah, because this is Clark he's talking about. And we know that Clark cheated because of because, you know, it's literally inside the news. And she preferred him to that, and she didn't want to be as boring and old as him. Imagine being boring and old. Why don't we just keep going up? Why don't we just keep Googling people? Spider searching people. Get more and more people into our web. The spider web, right? Spider web. Zach Morden. Carolyn Morden. Carolyn Morden. I wonder if there's anything else here that's handy to know about her. Carolyn Morden. foster children. Foster kids. Dirty David. Wait. What if this is saying that... What if this is implying that... Maybe this is also implying... 5Ps and Ruby have a kid? I don't know. But yeah, no, Dirty David, and then Carolyn Morden. How the hell do I go anywhere in this? Telephoto. Go back. Carolyn Morden, Lauren's Diaries, Brian Jones, Carolyn's art book. Chris Rafferty, Chris 75. I think we finished him entirely. I think we finished him off. Yeah. Yeah, we finished him off. We read this whole thing. You spelled fiance wrong. Lulu's much better at spelling. Ernie Madsen's heart condition. Yeah. November Roottrees was really difficult to place. Her occupation. Wait, November Roottrees. Right, November Roottrees. Wonder if she's still alive. November Roottrees. Ronald and his brother go by Ron and Robbie, but now they've made up for it. So actually, I never searched up Ron Roottrees very heavily, even though he is technically a large part of this, because he was meant to be the replacement, and he hopes to release a movie about it someday. And then him and Robbie have made amends. So RR Productions. Guys Like Us remake. Hi, we're Guys Like Us, and we like remakes. Hi, I'm a Costco guy. Yeah, we're Costco guys, and we eat the chicken bake. Of course we eat the chicken bake, or whatever they say. So Guys Like Us, Ron Roottrees, RR Productions, new movie. Or new series, which is an old series being remade. Is this a commentary? Is this a thinly veiled commentary on the state of remakes in the gaming industry? The Guys Like Us remake has been discussed a few times on the website about upcoming films called Movie News. The logo is a cow and a film cancer. The rumored cast is Cameron Diaz. What the fuck? Linda Floridino and Chris O'Donnell. Cameron Diaz? Yo, okay, but there was a time period. I don't know, like, if you're too young to know about Cameron Diaz, leave my chat right now. But there was a time when Cameron Diaz was everywhere. You look left, there's Cameron Diaz. You look right, there's Cameron Diaz. Right? You wake up in the morning and your mother is Cameron Diaz. You look across the table as you're eating breakfast. Your father is Cameron Diaz. You go to school, all your schoolmates are Cameron Diaz, and your teacher's Cameron Diaz. It's just Cameron Diaz all over the place. According to leaked news, the remake has been put on indefinite hiatus due to its director, who is speculated to be Ron Roottrees, dropping out in the wake of a serious medical issue, though that's only a rumor because his mother died. That has to be why. RR Productions. It has to be because his mother died. So, Bizanis, Chef's Signature, Modern Music Monthly, News Time, Piketty, Portland Telegraph, Silver Screen Magazine, Ron. Business Watch. What really happened to the Rift? What? But Ron seemed way too eager and personally motivated, right, to remove Robbie Roottrees. Because he was trying to do that initially. That was the thing that he was trying to do in the first place with his lawsuit, right? He was trying to get the Clans of Trust to change to get rid of his brother. Right, and then Clark came into the picture. Right. We are going nowhere. I think we're going nowhere. Don't blame nepotism. He gets results. Teen Blast? RR Productions. Cameron Diaz. Okay, what teen magazine doesn't talk about Cameron fucking Diaz, man? You're kidding me, right? They don't talk about Cameron Diaz? Dude, she's like the hottest shit at this point, man. She's everywhere. She's in every production. Robbie Roottrees. Robbie Roottrees was released from French prison after serving a few years for assault. Wow. His embezzlement and arrest were partially featured in 6 pieces, as Robbie's participation in the Clancy Trust was a key piece of evidence in Sam's favor, and has since become more publicly infamous. He's not yet returned to the United States, but when journalists reached out to him recently after the death of his mother, he had issued a blanket statement a few days ago. The death of my mother was hard to my family. My brother and I, spending some time together caring for her in the morning, I finally made amends. It was a highly transformative few weeks when it came to our relationship. I'm in recovery from my addiction, and a major aspect of that process is that I wish to stay private. Yeah, that is fair. It is hard to get not like addicted when everyone's looking at you. Like everyone's looking at you and asking you things about your life, and it's like, dude, like I just wanna like fix my life, man. Like shit's going crazy. Just like leave me alone, please. Small rumors, starlets. That one was for the original rumors. Gwyn Roottrees. She's dead now, but maybe we can find information about their dead mother. She died in Paris, France. After leaving Hollywood, she made no effort to stay in limelight, tend to focus on her largest role, Guys Like Us. 1993 comedy film in which 2 secretaries cut their hair short and pose as businessmen to get ahead in life until one of them falls in love with their clients and hilarity ensues. Starring Gwyn Roottrees, Leslie Florence, and Harrison Lane. It was fairly popular at the box office. It made its budget back. It was seen as somewhat formulaic, so it didn't really stand the test of time compared to other classic films of the era. It was recently released for the first time on home video due to Roottreemania. The time it took to manufacture and ship VHS copies of Guys Like Us meant that amidst the height of the craze, which only lasted a few weeks. And so, it did sell modestly well, and there have been talks of a remake. Leslie Florence? Leslie Florence was the other actress besides Gwyn Roottrees. Before Guys Like Us, she was in a few very small supporting roles. The performance in Guys Like Us was generally thought of as quite good, especially considering she got second billing to Gwyn. Even with the success and acclaim, she retired from Hollywood almost immediately after her co-starring role. Not much was known about her until recently, when Guys Like Us was re-released right at the tail end of Roottreemania. Recently, as part of a myriad of articles and research people have done into those surrounding the Roottrees, it came out that she died of a genetic disease known as Huntington's in the late 1960s. Is that important? I feel like that's important. Why is this mentioned? Who else has Huntington's? Have we ever seen the phrase Huntington's? Did anybody die of Huntington's? Why did Gwyn die? Relatively good health, friends and family. Who's dead? I see, everything comes back to death. Huntington's is probably like, because it's a genetic disease, so you know where it sort of goes to. Imagine if Leslie Florence is somebody, because how did she get second billing, right? Like, I'm gonna find out who killed you. Butler County Times, Christmas Mission. You originally only found mentions of Christmas Mission on the site about movies that flopped. During the height of Roottreemania, it was announced Christmas Mission was slated to be released in VHS, but due to the amount of reception that Guys Like Us received, and due to the fact that Christmas Mission was a flop to begin with, the release was cancelled. What a shame. Okay, I feel like we're getting closer to some major piece. Everything is sort of like spread apart though. I have all these, like, imagine, you know that like lemon thing? You know the lemon meme of like the dude holding all those lemons? I'm holding all of these lemons. But I need to make lemonade, but I don't know, like, which, like, some of these lemons go together, but I don't really know. This was her ex-husband, an actor known for his role in Fortune and Fate of the Grave, did not make an appearance at Gwyn Roottrees' funeral. Damn. Because of his absence, there were rumors online he must have already died, but according to a reporter that tracked him down, he's in his 70s, still lives in Paris, and is still in perfectly fine health. It went on record as saying, "I think it was Mark Twain who said the rumors of my death have been greatly exaggerated. That seems appropriate today." The few years I spent with Gwyn were just one stop along the very long and complicated journey that has been my life and career. The last time we spoke was when I signed the divorce papers. She asked me to never contact her or the kids again. I've always respected those wishes. They never reached out to me either, even as adults. So I have to assume they had some idea of why she hated me so much and the sacrifices she made on my behalf. I wish them well and I'm sorry for the loss. But we've all been strangers for 40 years, so I can confidently say they wouldn't have wanted me to be there. In fact, I'm confident my presence would have ruined it. Wow, he's a very self-aware person. Many people could do with that level of self-awareness. Of course, there's nothing from Mark Twain. You can't do anything about Mark Twain. Nothing wrong with that. Cornwall, Wild Bill, Williams. Teen Blast. I don't know how often we can keep blasting, man. I feel like I'm blasting everybody. Everybody's getting blasted in Team Blast. Oh yeah, Brother Trouble. Nope. Well, I don't know what to do. I feel like we're lost. Sam and her father were critically mentioned in a book about historical letters, right? Aloysius Herring Roottry, who claimed he was a Roottry but was not. Family man, simply propaganda. Carolyn Morden sculptures were not useful. What am I missing? What in God's name am I missing? I need to go up the family tree. You know, like I need to go all the way up the family tree to see what's going on. Somebody's got an answer in this tree. And I'm going to start with Gwendolyn because she's so cool. She's such a cool character. God, I love Gwendolyn so much. Gwendolyn Roottry. We need to go one by one. Or maybe, wait, there was one piece of evidence I didn't look at closely because I was afraid of it. This. Can this tell me anything useful? Was that Leslie Florence? Have they ever hired a Florence before? So you're Fred Cross, Albert Cross, Douglas Rosenberg, Joanna Robertson, which we know is this one. What else? Doris Mays, Beth Knox, Juliet McCullen, Samantha Madison, John Miller, Elizabeth Farrow, Thomas Green, Fred Gleason. Well, let me just go one by one. Honestly, at this point, we probably just should do this. Michael Caine, Jack Keatons, Stuart Todd, Sam. This is gonna make me go crazy, man. Robert Logan, Doris Mays, Albert Cross, Fred Cross. How am I supposed to find anything? Edward Roottry, Carl Monroe, Elizabeth Cravensworth, Zach Morden, Ernest Madsen Jr. He was standing in. Here we go. Eli C. Roottry is no longer employed. Guy Hudson. Oh yeah, who is the brother of the sister? You know what I mean? Like who is the brother of the sister of like the Miracle Roottry person? Guy Hudson is the only president. Yada yada. Let them. Okay, swinger parties, debauchery, lawyers. The lawyers are there. We only need Guy Hudson. Patrick Decker was hired. Who is Pat? Why was he hired now? As office staff. Patrick Decker. Oh. Patrick Decker Jr. is an attorney in Butler County. He's listed on a site that claims they detail the best lawyers in every state. Looking at the lack of credentials and the About Us page, you suspect that the lawyers on the list have all paid to be there. His biography mentions his education, and he comes from a prestigious line of law experts, including his father, who was the head lawyer for the Roottry Candy Company in the 70s and 80s. What? What do you mean? Your father was a head lawyer here? Who are you? Patrick Decker and his son Patrick Decker Jr. both appeared Both appeared advertised at the Butler County Times as lawyers. They also mentioned a few articles about specific cases. There is a mention that Patrick Decker took over as head lawyer for the Roottrees Company in 1979. Patrick Decker took over as head lawyer for the Roottrees Company in 1979. What was that timeline line up with? 1979. Glanced Trust. Elias's son, blood relative at birth. Glanced Trust. The only thing you find, the 5-piece guarantee. When was this made? Right, that was the presidential thing. Edward Clancy. Edward Roottree. Edward Clancy. 1979 head lawyer. Edward Clancy. Edward Roottree. The Trust. Yeah, this older page. 1940s and 1950s. Clancy Edward Roottrees made it in 1943. 1943 he made it. I'm thinking like, is there a relation to that now that we see this? Butler County Times, Patrick Decker Jr. Butler County Times, Chef Signature, Business Watch, The Herald, Bond Music Monthly, News Time, Picatee, The Portland Telegraph, Silver Screen Magazine, Starlit, Teen Blast, Telephoto. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it doesn't matter. Patrick Decker, Eli C. Roottrees, Ernest Madsen Jr. He's now project management, right? Christine Farrow was hired. Wait, we know who that is, so that name isn't really important. Joanna Fellows and Beth Knox are no longer employed. We know about Beth Knox. Oh, I didn't mean to search periodical, sorry. Beth Knox, Spy Search. John Miller, he's no longer employed there, which makes sense, but I wonder if his name shows up anywhere else. Because he was a major part of the entire the deal, right? Nobody talks about him. It's as if the world forgot that he even existed. That's messed up, man. Gwyneth Madsen was hired. Spy Search. Beth Knox, 50-year work anniversary. She's dead, but by now. Guy Hudson replaces Zachariah Morden. Zachariah Morden. Yeah, okay. Edward Roottree, Elizabeth Cravensworth. What a sick fucking name. Lloyd Carpenter, no longer employed by the Roottrees Company. Albert Cross and Fred Cross are no longer employed by Roottrees. I wonder if that is important to know. Like, could this have been yet another one as well? Beatrice Watts and Carolyn and Connie and Corrine Schwartz. Whoa, her name actually popped. Why did the name pop? Corrine Schwartz comes up in a few articles from local news stations in Pennsylvania. Some of the people attempting to track down Anonymom were harassing her. She recently had to take a leave of absence because people showed up at the car dealership where she works. She is begging people to stop the accusations so that she can get back to a normal life. In every article you can find, the journalists involved have independently verified that she is not Anonymom. Why did they believe that she was Anonymom? Corrine Schwartz resides in Pennsylvania, though it appears she lives beyond the Butler County limits. As she was named in a national tabloid, people have come to her place of work and have accused her of being an Anonymom. The article explains that it's impossible for her to be an Anonymom because her only child is still in middle school. Unless her son's gestation period was approximately 10 years, it doesn't appear like Corrine could have been involved in any of the potential affairs on your trip. What was the article that she was involved in? Why did she speak up? Why was she involved with this? I feel like Anonymom has to be real if we assume that maybe the whatchamacallits are fake, like the DNA tests are faked. News Time. Oh, an anonymous woman appeared on the cover of News Time holding a picture of her daughter Jane Doe Roottree. The first and only mention of the phrase Anonymom in News Time came the week after, when they issued an apology for featuring her in the first place. A summary of the initial cover article has been added to your evidence. Picatee is not afraid to expose details that other publications would. Picatee is not afraid to expose details that other publications would, as in would feel afraid to, or like wouldn't. Shouldn't you say wouldn't expose? I don't know. Shortly after the announcement that Jane Doe Rootree was not a Rootree, Piketty exposed personal details about the story of Anonymom on the headline, Anonymom the Anonicon. Anonymom the Anonicon. Okay, so this is new. They said Anonymom worked as a manager at a department store in North Carolina. North Carolina? And her daughter's name was Courtney May. They also said that the woman that vouched for her famous cover story, they didn't even identify news time, perhaps to avoid being sued, is named Corinne S. Schwartz. That she had filed for bankruptcy. What? The woman that vouched for her cover story was Corinne Schwartz. The article speculates that Anonymom and Corinne were in on it together, and even speculates that they might have been lovers. Piketty is not a credible information. The information wasn't particularly actionable. Very few people seem to notice or care. So that's where the Corinne Schwartz angle goes. But why do I care? Teen blast this! How come the teenagers aren't talking about Anonymama? The teenagers just don't care? Here we go again, another claim to the famous name. It was determined through a DNA test that Anonymom's daughter was not a Rootree, but that's also not reliable because we know that Ruby Spratt knew about Dirty Davy, and maybe just maybe she's in on it, and so she doesn't want to dilute the trust even more, and maybe she herself wants a cut of the pie. We don't know. Because again, she approached the Rootree company herself. This article, which did refer to her daughter as Jane Doe Rootree, but did not coin the phrase Anonymom, came before all that, right around the time of her first TV interview. This is a summary. An anonymous woman appeared on the cover of News Time, which that the 5-piece was confirmed to be a member of the Rootree family. In an homage to the previous cover, she was a photo of her daughter. Like 5-piece, she wished to remain anonymous, and both photos were obscured. The anonymous woman claimed to have had an affair with Guy Hudson while she was working as his secretary. She and another woman had at the same time, during a transition period, while many of the secretaries that had worked under Zach Morton were already gone. She says that she and the other woman were both underqualified, as neither had typewriter experience. According to other staff members interviewed, Guy had his own requirements for hiring women. Guy Hudson liked to throw lavish parties, and the longer he was present, the more excuses he found. The anonymous woman posits that these parties mostly seemed to be an excuse to have after parties at Guy's home, featuring much more alcohol and other substances. She claims she slept with him at one of these parties. She confronted Guy when she found out she was pregnant. Guy didn't seem fazed, and they came to an arrangement. He paid her a significant amount of hush money, on a recurring basis, under the table. She used it to move away and start a new life with her daughter. When Guy died, the money stopped coming. She assumed things had run their course. She went back to work at the apartment store and hoped that nobody would ever look too closely at how she paid for her house. She told everyone that her daughter's father walked out one day and never came back. She claimed that, after seeing the fantastic article in News Time, she realized that she wasn't the only one this happened to. While she never worked at the Rootree company at the same time as 5-piece's mother Joanna, their stories seemed eerily similar, and she knew Joanna was telling the truth right away. What? Those two telling the truth. The article presented no tangible evidence of the anonymous woman's time at Rootree, and all the payments were allegedly made in cash. However, using details that she provided to News Time, the reporters were able to reach out to other women hired at the same time, also remained anonymous. They successfully fact-checked the timeline of both women, confirmed the existence of the infamous after-parties. 5-piece's case was strengthened, and this news story was subsequently published. Wait, so while she never worked at Rootree company at the same time as 5-piece's mother, their stories seemed eerily similar, and she knew Joanna was telling the truth right away. Right, but then the DNA test disproved hers, but it didn't disprove Joanna's. Like, it made Joanna's even more reliable. And because the game, we were supposed to search that first. That was one of the first things I was supposed to search. Instead, I ended up in this whole different timeline where I'm learning all different kinds of things about a Patrick Decker. How did I get so far and not at all? You know, like, how did I do so well and so poorly? How did I find someone's obituary? I need to find their obituary. I need to find who Bess Williams made as like a child. If this doesn't lead anywhere, I think the natural conclusion is we need to keep searching up Elias Rootree. There must be something that Elias did way back then that was documented somewhere that's very important to know. Watchman of the Year, appeared in Butler County Times often, invented 5 pieces, The Head of World, Modern Music Monthly, News Time, Piketty, Portland Telegraph, Silver Screen Magazine, Starlet, Eden Blast, Telephoto. Huh. Since 6 pieces, 5 pieces. The quote from Bess Williams' book appears to have been taken down. Like his great-grandson Carl was voted Watchman of the Year. Watchman of the Year. Find a few searches. Right. Was there anything on the old page? We have the photo of them. We have 5 pieces. Blood is thicker than syrup. 5 pieces. Sweet History of Candy Volume 2. This is hard. This is actually genuinely hard. I actually don't know what to do. Because like how do you even find somebody who doesn't want their history to be known, right? How do you find the truth of Elias Roottrees' child who we don't even know about? There's also a section where Sam speculates that Elias may have cheated on Gwyneth. Gwyneth was always much kinder to Sam than Elias was, and was the first to invite Sam to family events. She always had the impression that, right? She mentioned that Elias and Gwyneth were known to loudly argue sometimes about another woman, who's Bess. As far as Sam knows, Elias once had a secretary. Why does nobody know about Bess Williams? Like, I know she died in like a tornado, but surely they recovered like a leg or something, right? I mean, she's born in the 1800s. Like my brother in Christ, if you're born in the 1800s now, you're 120 years old. I don't know if this is possible. I think what we need to do is we need to give up. We need to give up. Wait a minute. Miami Print Museum in a... I was gonna say in a magazine about photos. That's kind of good. So the Boca Toro Library. I actually don't know what to do. How do you get from her to a children? I know she has kids. The last is an original print of Cuba by Cubans. Marcia Barbin. Fountain, a picture of a statue, which includes a fountain, as well as a statue. Wait a minute, a fountain. Miami Print Museum. It states their hours. Miami Print Museum states their hours. A fountain with a statue in Miami. Wait. According to, she grew up in the Foster Award and was earning her Gold Award. What is a Gold Award? This required a project to help the community. Okay, well, fuck. And she chose to build the Foster Fountain. The fountain has a few small pedestals that stick up high above the water. Could this be the same fountain? Portland's foster care system. Portland Foster Care. Portland Foster Care. Foster Care. Foster Care. Foster Care System. A collection of local businesses have thing. Portland, Miami. Wait, is that stupid? Where is Portland? Portland, Oregon. Where is Miami? Where is Miami? Coastal city in the U.S. state of Florida. Florida. Florida, Oregon. Number 9, Florida State softball blows past Oregon State. Somebody on the other side of my screen just fell to their knees and cried. It's like, no, what the fuck? No. Foster Fontaine. We know about the Foster Fountain. All the proceeds are donated. A website for Portland's Parks and Recreation. Parks and Recreation, Portland Telegraph. Mentions a trivia section under the fountain that the fountain of youth was originally conceived by Ruby Spratt, an alumni of the foster system. Is that not the craziest thing to say about some child? Like, hey, you're the alumni from that, like, foster care, right? And, like, you didn't have parents? It's kind of cool. It's like, I don't know, man. It's kind of messed up, dude. 100 businesses to participate, but this only tells us that she's now here. I was thinking maybe there's a connection between what she did and the fountain that her thing is on. But that's in Miami. Bocadoro Library. The Bocadoro Library. We need to go back. Boom. 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 Ba-boom. Boom. Boom. Teen Blast? I don't think teens give a shit about libraries. Miami Print Museum. Come across on the website. Miami Print Museum. Boom. 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 I actually, genuinely, I think this is the part... This is hard. I think this is it. I think this is when we just say we need hits. Like it might be, or maybe Cuba by Cubans is actually very important. I don't know. Cuba by Cubans. No copies available. But maybe. Cuba by Cubans. This book has to be important. Mon Music Monthly, Picatee, Portland Telegraph, Silver Screen Magazine. Okay, no, not the duck. I'm doing this. Oh, thank God. Cuba by Cubans. Miami Sunday. Cause like I'm already doing it. It's so annoying to click the button and go back up. Like I feel like I'm playing a menuing game and I'm going crazy. Like, I'm actually going crazy, man. Miami Sunday. So the Miami Sunday's gone, which is now the Miami Mercury Sunday. Wait. Why not just do this? Miami Sunday, Bess Williams. Like, can't I just... You know what I mean? Like, because you can just type anything. Maybe that's the secret. Oh, but we can't find anything in the periodical search. It became the Miami Mercury Sunday, which folded after a year. And a small website about quirky printing history facts. I don't know what to do. Cuba by Cubans. Portland by Portlanders? I don't know. Like what? How do you even begin to find this person? Miami Print Museum. Miami Print Museum goes nowhere. Unknown author. We had the photo. How the hell do you go from that to this? Like, what did I do wrong? How did I do this again? How did I solve it backwards? I solved everything backwards. I am pretty sure that this game wanted you to go left to right. Like, to go from here to over here. You know what I mean? Or maybe it didn't. I don't know, but I feel like I solved it wrong because I went backwards again. How am I so good but so bad at it? I don't know. Bess Williams. Infidelity. Somebody must have known. Somebody must have known about that infidelity. Who would have the most visibility into what happened? We have a number of options. The lawyer, Margaret, Roottreemania. We've got a number of people in this family that could actually be very important to the knowledge that we're about to find, that we need to stumble upon. Margaret Roottrees. Margaret Roottrees. I think we need to go backwards, as far back as we can. Lancy Edward Roottrees. Ruby Legal Enterprises, right? She jumped over to him. Well, she showed up first. Clancy Trust, constant legal challenges. Find a statement. They officially hired her in April. Charitable services. Ruby Clancy Trust. Ruby Legal Enterprises. We knew about this. This was the magazine that led us down the rabbit hole of the 5 sexes. Roottrees Elias Jr. Roottrees? Clark was with his mother, who sat there. I don't know. I actually have no clue. The only other piece of evidence that we have not acted on, because I don't even know how to begin acting on it, is where is it? Wait, we didn't finish this. We never actually finished this whole list. I keep doing this. Corinne Schwartz, Juliet McCullen. Juliet McCullen. Doris Mays. Lisa Lewis and Valerie Ewing. Ewing? An Ewing. Fox! Look out! On your left, there's an Ewing! Jack Keaton's. So Elizabeth Farrow. Elizabeth Farrow. What? Elizabeth Farrow. Like, how many people have the name Farrow? That's a very rare name in the first place. How do you have 2 people with the name Farrow? I guess it makes sense given it's a small town, and so like small town people get around, right? Like it's like, actually, how do people in small towns deal with that fact of like they're in a small town and they get around? It's all the same people. Like you're like everybody's. I think I told the story last time too of how my friends are in this like social group where they all grew up in like one building, and they've all had sex with each other at least once. And I still think about that to this day because I'm like, Jesus Christ. Awful. Susie Ford. That was her name before she married. There's somebody named Ford somewhere. There's no way it's a car company. Edward Morrison. Susan Ford has been moved to office staff. Wait a minute. This implies that she was already here. Wait. Patrick Decker, Guy Hudson, Ernest Madsen Jr., Joanna Fellows, Beth Knox, yep, Gwyneth Madsen. I almost said Gwyneth Paltrow. Fred Cross, Susan was already here. Guy Hudson, Raffatoons, Albert Cross, no longer listed. Christine Garland, Susan, William Sams was hired. Emily Seinfeld and Thing was hired. Susan Ford. Oh, she already had her last name by this point. Shit. Like, how do you find her husband's name? Like, that's hard. You find her husband's name. Robert Andrews. I've already searched up Edwin Morrison. And he got immediately fired, which is weird. Corinne Schwartz and Beatrice Watts no longer employed by Roottrees. Linda Lewis and Angela Ingram were hired. Angela Ingram. Valerie Owen, Catherine Garrett was hired. William Sams is no longer employed by Roottrees. Emily Seinfeld is no longer employed, but Emily Barnes is now listed. Gwyneth Madsen, Gwyneth Cattrall is now listed. Susan Ford no longer works in that department, right? Carl Roottrees joins special management. Douglas Rosenberg was rehired. Why was he rehired? Angela Ingham, okay, so all 3 secretaries were gone now. No secretaries are directly employed. Victor Logan was hired. Stuart Todd was hired. Wait, Todd Stewart? What's his name? Todd? Isn't his name literally Todd Stewart? The guy from Bethesda? Yeah, I have no clue. I have no clue. I actually have 0 clue. Where could any of this go? I think we're doomed. I'm gonna click the hint button. And I'm gonna be so mad if it's a simple hint. Like, if the hint is like, by the way, and if we had the evidence the entire time, I'm going to quit. It's time to pull out the duck. I know I'm a failure. I know. Wait, before we do the duck, listen, the base game has the intuition numbers. The base game has the intuition numbers, okay? There's no fucking way there's a 1 on that. There's a 1 here? Really? There's a 1? Oh, for Susan Ford. This is for Susan Ford. The 1 there implies Susan Ford. This implies what, though? I've already done all of Guy Hudson, so it doesn't matter anymore. Right? I've already done this, the business partner, so it's already done too. I've already done Bess Williams, so it's already done too. So what does this matter? Patricia! His wife! His wife was in on it too. She was getting down dirty too. Bring that option back. I'm not doing this again. I'm not doing that, like, search everything. Yeah, just the search all. Shit. Patricia Roottrees. She's a Roottrees now. Okay, well, his wife is useless. So, what? If there's a number that pops up, I'm gonna be amazed. I know this is Bess Williams. The best thing going for it, it's only 85 pages long. Well, how do I read the book? Open the fucking book! Open the fucking book, man. The book. Family man. Let's just such a family man, you know? Elias from Business Watch, famous photo. But that's but we have Bess Williams locked in. The weird part is that we have it locked in, so why does it matter? What? There's something here. It has to be anonymous. It has to be the anonymous thing. It has to be. But no way. Sam Madsen's book about Elias Roottrees. Carl had not yet been replaced. In March, the Roottrees company publicly responded the Roottrees Rift. Is there anything new here? Search all. Roottrees Rift. Accidental leaks. As the timeline says, how the preliminary vote gained a thing to remove Robbie. We know that co-president is Clyde, but that's not true because he's gone now. The Roottrees Rift is the name over here. Releases. They're fairly standard. No president, but only made aware legitimacy claims. Ron was made aware, compensating Mrs. Madsen, stealing the money. The next day, Clinton drafted the announcement, stringent verification. Uh-huh. I've already got 5 P's down. So easy. Roottreemania. Then offered to do a DNA test, suddenly the world was obsessed. So obsessed. Roottreemania popular culture because the 5P saga underlying daytime shows had a I'm a Secret Roottrees episodes. This music is so sad. I'm a failure. I thought, like, what do a real life detective at this point would go for a smoke, or like go drinking or something, right? And they would see, like, this is the thing, right? This is hard. I don't live in Pennsylvania. I don't know what's going on in Pennsylvania. I don't even know what's going on in Florida, or Oregon. I don't know anything about what's going on in those places. So I have no clue what's going on, right? So, but if I was hired as a real detective, it'd be a local case. Somebody in my community would come to me and say, I need to find my husband. And I would go, I remember you. Your husband was at my place last night. And then, you know what I mean? Because, like, I know everybody. It's a local community thing. I don't live in Pennsylvania. I don't know these people. I don't know Butler County. I can't just, like, that's the thing, right? I could go drinking at the bar as a real detective. I could sit there with a drink in my hand, staring out the window, lamenting the fact that all of my money that Sam Madsen gave me, which is all in stocks, is gonna go to zero because of the coming economic crisis in the Roottrees family. And as I'm looking out the window, I see a childhood friend walk by, and I wonder, that's weird. Why is he going here? And I see him link arms with the person who hired me, and I get up from my chair slowly. I drop my drink and I get up from my chair slowly. I just throw like a 20 on the table. This is current day money, so that's still expensive. I run out the door and I say, sorry, I'll see you later. I stalk them. I stalk them back to my client's house. I figure out that she's the one cheating on her husband. I then go and question her and I say, what did you do with your husband? And she cracks. She says, please don't look under my floorboards. I check under the floorboards. He's dead. You can't do that here. You can't do that here. I give up. You can't do that here. I can't go have a drink and like do that. You know what I mean? Like it's impossible. Unauthorized biographies. Like what do you do? VHS releases. This include Lauren's diaries. Wait, did I never search this? I swear I searched up Lauren Rafferty, Lauren's diaries. Lauren Roottrees. Lauren's diaries. Seem to capitalize on the Roottrees sisters, Carl and Brenda. There's re-releases with 2 late variations of I'm a Secret Roottrees. Roottreemania. I'm pretty sure Anonymom is the angle, which we kind of know about because it is possible to go from it. So if we go from like Anonymom into the Carolyn. Wait, Carolyn. Why is that name so familiar? No, not here. History. Wizard. Name. Connie Schwartz. Connie. Corrine Schwartz. And then there was Piketty, another mom. Courtney May. She was hired at the same time as Corrine Schwartz. In on it together, suspects they might have even been lovers. Corrine Schwartz. And I can actually get their names from here. They would have been fired at the same time. Corrine Schwartz. Oh shit. Guys, chat, I'm getting closer. Corrine Schwartz. Beatrice Watts. Why go Watts? Oh, fuck. Yes! Courtney May is a simple website with black text on a white background and a few images. With the view counter, you can tell you're one of the only a few hundred people who has visited the site. She's not shy about claiming she is Jane Doe Roottrees. As proof, she has posted an unobscured cover from the time she was featured on News Time. It was also a different picture of herself that appears to be a wedding photo. The website seems to be created in defense of her mother, who has been the target of public scrutiny. Another headline, The True Story of Jane Doe Roottrees, courtesy of Courtney May Newton, formerly Watts. Courtney May writes, everyone has everything wrong. My mom approached the Roottrees before 5Ps was ever on the cover of News Time. Nobody at the Roottrees company took us seriously. They only listened to us after we appeared on TV and in magazines. This actually does make sense because we know about this. We know that this happened because when we were looking up the information about this story, we actually got a hint of the timeline and how this did pop up first. I can't remember where, but I know that piece of information is true in my mind. And I believe myself more than I believe the world. The site has a scanned letter from Ruby Legal Group to Courtney May's mother, Beatrice. Uh-oh. Very polite legal terms. It seems to accuse her of exploiting their name and orders her to leave the Roottrees alone. It's dated from a few weeks before the 5Ps article appeared in News Time. It seems legitimate. Courtney May also discusses her mother's magazine feature in more detail. Do you know how difficult it was to convince anyone to tell a story? My mom didn't even want to show her face because everyone in the media we approached assumed she was lying. Because her story was just like 5Ps, but my mom's story was first. Mom was advised by Ryan and Court, who the fuck are they, to tell News Time that seeing 5Ps on the cover was what inspired her to go public. That's the only way News Time would agree to it and help it get on TV. But it's not true. Our story was first. We have a seriously important thing. Let's do Leslie Florence / Huntington's, and then we do Anonymum over here. Because think about it. What do we know about Ruby Spratt? Ruby Spratt has a personal connection to 5Ps. So, if their stories are similar, and Ruby Spratt approached the clan, if Ruby Spratt approached the Roottree company herself, and she has control of the entire process, and she lets 5Ps in, that's a conflict of interest. Because if this person is telling the truth, it means that Anonymom's story is true, and that 5Ps wasn't. Or maybe that they both were. But Ruby, in wanting 5Ps to get in, and wanting his story to be true, probably made it so that, like she probably favored 5P's story over hers and then did that. But then it doesn't, and then she had a failing DNA test. No, you know what? I'm gonna stick with the idea that she swapped out the failing and the correct DNA test. I'm gonna stick with the idea because she has a vested interest in her friend, because she was a good friend with everyone at the foster kid place. Where the kids go? Where the children go when they lose their family? At the foster kid, at where all the homeless kids hang out. Right? That's where she was, and it says that they're all good friends, and she was good friends with Dirty Davy, who was also there. She swapped it out. Because, and this is very important, this is a family tree. Stick with me. I know. Listen. This is when you say I'm hearing telepathically in my imagination that all of you are saying this guy's lost it for sure. Like he just only figured this out. But I'm reiterating this because it's very important. It's a family tree, which means that it doesn't matter what kids are on it. It matters the links and why they're linked. So it doesn't matter that 5Ps is on here. It only matters that his mother sucked Guy Hudson off so hard, and he nutted so hard, it went from her stomach, out her urethra, into her vagina. It doesn't entitle him. It doesn't entitle him to the Clancy trust. He's simply, he's just there. I don't know. That's kind of sad, actually. Okay. So, Courtney's defense continues, but much of it seems repetitive and useless. Towards the end of her page, she discusses the DNA test that defends her mother's character. My mom is amazing. She's the nicest woman in the world. She has diabetes and works at the department store, but still managed to pay for my apartment in the big city so that I could stay with my high school sweetheart. I got a degree in nursing, so I learned about DNA in college, but I'm beginning to think it's all a lie. Mom is 100% confident that there's nobody else who could be the father. Either they did the test wrong, or DNA is complete bullshit. She's not a liar. Listen, what's your name, Courtney May? I never treat a patient, but DNA is correct. The problem is not the DNA. The problem is Ruby Spratt. Ruby Spratt. The brat. I don't even know if that's true. Like, I have no clue if it's true. I'm just making all of this up. Courtney May Watts posted this photo on the website to prove her identity. Appears to be a wedding photo of hers. And look at her hair. Like every single other child of Guy Hudson. Every other child of Guy Hudson has that same iconic hair. She is a spitting image of Guy Hudson. It isn't even funny how much she looks like them. I was gonna say maybe she does too, but that'd be messed up, because it means that he would have slept with his cousin. See that? This was the kid with the hair. Same red hair. Same red hair. Everybody has the same hair. Same red hair. Well, one of them is, you know what I mean? What? No. No. Swear home, Alabama. That's what I'm worried about here. I am worried about the possibility of a sweet home, Alabama. No, but actually, it doesn't make sense. Sorry. Okay, ignore everything I said. It's literally impossible. Do you know why it's do you know why it's impossible? This is a family tree. So the reason why it's impossible for her to be the actual person, and the reason why none of that happened, is because it's a family tree. Which means that all these decisions are locked in. So I was right. I forgot that Guy Hudson's done. I don't even know why I'm looking at him. I don't even know why I'm looking at Guy Hudson. I don't even know. I'm gonna summon the duck. If I do this, I want you... I'm sorry. No! What? In 1981, while Susan Ford was at Roottrees, Grandorf Duff received a sizable donation that could be covered up another fidelity. I already know this. I already know this. I already know this. I put it here. I don't know how to get her name, but I know that she's here. Way home, Alabama. Susan Ford. Grandorf Dove. Way home, Alabama. Okay, so Thomas Hughes. Thomas Hughes. No. Grandorf Dove. Yeah, Grandorf Dove. Coincidentally, Miss Hughes' father, Thomas Hughes, and the Hudson Wing have all avoided further appearances. Yep. So the problem is that we already know this, but I don't know how to go from here to everything else that I need to do. Like, how do I get her last name? They got their name after the president of the Roottrees company generously donated. We know this. But how do I get her last name? The crazy thing is, I know her kids. Like, I know her kids' names. How did I find her kids' names? Heather Ford. We had the Ford sisters, right? Wasn't that it? Is their life after high school. Near the end of April 1999, including the Heather Ford. Melissa Ford. Ford sisters. Grandorf School for the Deaf. Ford sisters. One of them has asthma. One of them has a deadly allergy to peanuts. Miss Susie Ford. A Miss Susie Ford. Please don't tell me searching list gets it, man. Like, how do I go from here? How do I find out more about the mother? Melissa, Heather, asthma. Is there life after school? She's the definition of introvert. The Ford twins were used as a nationwide study on twins. I don't know why I said that twice. Susie something. The Susie something, Susan Ford, something Ford. Harrison? And what's her real name? Yeah, the Ford sisters. So we have the Ford sisters, but So it's weird. I basically solved the game backwards. Like, this is the problem. Because I solved the game backwards, I don't know what to do. Like, I have the sisters, but I don't have their mother's last name because it's not Ford. Or maybe it is Ford, but like, because the way that this game works is it usually wants the woman's birth name. Like, it wants everyone's birth name, not their current name. So in doing so, it's like I don't know what to do. How do you get their birth name? I need to figure out who her husband is, because she needed the money to take care. Because she wanted the money to take care of her husband. The maiden name. That's it. That's the maiden name. Yeah. That's it. Grandorf School for the Deaf. Because this is it. So here, Grandorf School for the Deaf accordingly was named like this, renamed to the school. Miss Ford is fluent in 5 languages ASL. She's not deaf. She learned to communicate with the deaf. She learned ASL to communicate with it. Responsible for securing funding for the Hudson Wing. The Hudson Wing, according to the history. She learned ASL from the main school to surprise her future husband, who was deaf. Wait a minute. From the main school. She learned ASL from the main school to surprise her husband, who was deaf. Where's that article with Cecily? With Cecily Sanchez. Guy liked me, changed man, clip, chop, snip, snip. Core guy, not complicated. Miss Rogers, Mr. Rogers, caviar, Brazil. Final, Susie something. He sent me his mistress, Susie something. Boy, girl, I remembered her from our trips overseas. She was too good for him. Anyways, he died soon after. I remembered her from our trips overseas. Overseas. She was there at those other places. Maybe we had to go overseas. She was here in these other places. Roottrees. The CEO happens to be Tristan Robert. She was there in these overseas trips. So how come I can't find her name anywhere? Grandorf School for the Deaf. Key in scientific study. Genetic issues. I need to find... you know what I need to find? I need to find almost like a student list. Because Grandorf School for the Deaf. She was a student here, going at the school to learn the language to talk to her husband. Like, how do I get the student list? How do I get the list of students? Grandorf Dove. Last mention, center of a crime article. New Hudson Wing defamation. Mrs. Hughes. She was not a teacher at the time. Current pregnancy. Released on bail. Criminal charges. That's the only thing that I don't know how to do. Alright. Maybe if I was gonna do this first, how would I have collated these? I think what happened is that maybe the way that you're supposed to find the clues, like, there's a strong possibility that your clues that you find somewhere here, you would have accidentally placed it here. It wouldn't have locked in, but it would have helped you build a fake, like, the correct tree, and you would have swapped out later. You know what I mean? Talking to my duck? The Miami Sunday merged into the Miami Mercury Sunday, but that was short-lived. You want information on events from before the merger? Well, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. I've been trying to do that. Wait. Bess? Is it literally you have to type like this? Is it literally this? But like, I do this and it doesn't show up. Is it asking me to... Is this actually the way that you're supposed to do it? Boca Doral Library. When did she die? When did she... Miami Friday? Miami... Bess Williams? How did she die? Major hurricane that struck in 1926. Hurricane 1926. I don't know. We do the duck again. Maybe something about the hyphenated name can give you a clue. I'm so fucking stupid. The Mercury Sunday. Oh. What? Miami Mercury. Of course. I'm stupid. That's why it's called the Miami Mercury Sunday, because it's combined. Oh, I'm so stupid. Like, of course, it's a merger. I don't know why, but like, I don't think of mergers as like, I just sort of imagine it's like Square Enix. I don't even register in my mind that it's Squaresoft and something Enix. I just think of it as Square Enix. You know what I mean? Like, it becomes a whole new entity. I don't do the decomposition in my mind because I'm not a linguist. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. What did it give me? Bess Williams. How did she die? Please give me a featured obituary. Yes! The Miami Mercury had an article about Bess Williams' section in the Book Library when it was being built in 1922. It mentions that Bess's young son, now an orphan. I'm gonna assume Ruby Sprat goes down here. I think so. There was that one theory in my mind of like how like Ruby Sprat has to be related to the Roottrees in some way, and this would totally make sense because then she's dead. He doesn't care. The child is now an orphan, and this whole family tree, and then Ruby Sprat is now over here. Okay, well, now it's easy. It was in the 10th story indication. It also had a later mention for 1949, the year the paper existed, about a bidding war for a planned expansion of the library in 1950. The bidding was won by Wildcat Construction, including a new statue, a fountain, and a section that would double its shelf count. We won't even write notes. I'll just use this thing called memory. Memory. Frank Wildcat Williams in the Miami Mercury. Wildcat Construction was mentioned once in an article you've already seen about the expansion of the Bocadoro Library. It was also mentioned earlier in 1947 under the headline Constructing a Better World. Frank Wildcat Williams, Bess Williams, left Florida in 1941, a construction worker, and returned a hero. He won the Navy Cross for Frank Will Construction. For carrying a fellow soldier to safety under heavy Nazi fire. Now he and his wife Ophelia are carrying his fellow soldiers through tough times at home. Wildcat Construction is Frank's company, focused on creating opportunities for soldiers finding difficulty getting back to normal. Ophelia has handled outreach to the wives of local veterans who are often able to provide insight into their husband's needs and conditions. She has, through such outreach, found 13 veterans of the war to serve as Frank's employees. The community support has been unendingly and overwhelmingly positive. It's gotten to the point where Frank bids on the project, other local companies have decided to step back and let his soldiers handle it. That's actually sweet. That's sweet. But if I was running a construction company and I needed money, I would absolutely shit on them. This has become a bit of a sore spot for local politicians and business owners, as the bids are often not as low as they expected. The problem for them is that, essentially, Frank is a selective monopoly, but any attempt to circumvent it has caused an uproar and accusations of being un-American. Wildcat Construction is listed as some historical records as having worked on many buildings in the Miami, Florida area. It seems to have ceased operations in the 1960s. Where the fuck do you go from here? Where do you go from here? Bess Williams, Bocadoro Library, redefine the hurricane. Bess's young son, now an orphan, was in the audience. What's it called again? Miami Print Museum? I mean, these are old articles, right? Hello, chat. How are you? I'm going crazy. I'm going crazy. I'm going crazy. Yeah, I'm going crazy. What's up? How you doing, chat? Library system, Miami Print Museum. Surely this talks about the Miami Print Museum. I literally just searched for that. How about maybe they have things about the Miami Sunday? How about they have Cuba by Cubans? Maybe they know about Mycia Barbin. I don't believe in DNA anymore. I don't want to believe in DNA anymore. Your eyeballs are tired. You slept for 12 hours, so that's a new record. You know what? That sounds like a good ass sleep. That's what I need after this, because I don't believe in DNA anymore. I think Anonymom's daughter was correct. I think Carolyn May was absolutely correct. DNA doesn't exist anymore. You know, like DNA isn't real. Williams, is there anybody named Williams in the company? Because this implies that they kept the Williams name. They didn't take the Roottrees name. Now, if I look at the records, is there anybody... Wait, why don't I just search up Frank Williams? Frank Wildcat Williams is listed on a few different military history websites. He was awarded a Navy Cross Medal in World War II. The story goes that even after being struck in the arm with a bullet, he managed to carry a fellow soldier through enemy territory on his shoulders for over 2 miles. He died in 1996, age 74, in a retirement community in Sweetwater, Florida. An obituary. Yes, an obituary. It's a featured obituary. Yes, we finally found it. Oh my god. I can't believe we start the day with an obituary and we end with an obituary. Oh, beautiful. On the website of a local news channel that was written up by his surviving family also shed some light on his personal life. He grew up an orphan because his family died in a hurricane when he was very young. He could barely remember his mother and had no memory of his father. After the war, he ran a construction company that mainly hired World War II veterans and did a lot of jobs in and around the greater Miami area. He was a born joker and shining light to those veterans who needed most. An anecdote mentioned that he used to insist he married his wife Ophelia as a matter of courtesy and convenience. She wouldn't have to change her last name. A photo was attached, Frank in his youth, juggling hammers in front of one of his construction sites, as he was often known to do. According to the article, he is survived by Ophelia, as well as his daughters Barb and Sharon Williams. Alright, boys, look at this. And then this is how he died at the age of 74, was he tried the hammer trick again. He tried to juggle hammers one last time, and he died once again. Ophelia. So we can actually... She didn't need to change her name, but we can search up Barb Williams. Barb Williams. Barb Williams is a motivational speaker, and she has a website that explains the services she offers. Her company's address is listed as in Coconut Grove, Florida. What is a Coconut Grove? Is that real? Do you have coconuts? Sharon Williams. Was that her name? Well, what do you know? Now I don't know any Sharon Williams. Overcoming adversity with Barb Williams. Her story will surprise you, uplift you, and then energize you. Greta Jones with WKTV 12 Morning News. A lesson that anyone can take something away from. I'm Vic Elmsworth with the Kikkiwa Falls Gazette. Kikkiwa Falls Gazette. There is no Kikkiwa Falls anywhere in the world that you can find. The closest thing to a Kikkiwa appears to be in New Zealand. Instead, a man named Chris Elmsworth has invented a small-town newspaper as a conceptual art piece. The Kikkiwa Falls Gazette is a series of online articles about small restaurants, shows, and other tourist attractions all across the United States. It's presented as a monthly newspaper of small-town America. What makes the Kikkiwa Falls Gazette a bit strange is that amongst the articles detailing real locations are occasional stories that present outlandish and inflammatory concepts in extremely mundane ways. For example, on the homepage right now is an article entitled "Mermaids Strike Back Against Lobster Farms" that uses very dry language. Details the idea that the mermaids in Maine have begun to unionize in support of better benefits. There are no punchlines, and the articles are not marked any differently from the rest. Each current issue is present on the homepage. There are no archives. Small town America. That's weird, but this photo tells us a lot. Greta Jones, Chris Elmsworth, Reddit Jones. Reddit Jones. WQTV. 12 Morning News. Reddit Jones is, according to a flyer in your possession, the morning news anchor for a channel called WQTV-12. Unfortunately, WQTV-12 has no online web presence whatsoever. You do find it listed on a giant list of television call signs. Next to the city Springfield, under the heading Effingham County. That's funny. You may need to do a deeper dive in a specific city and state to see if any locals have discussed news in that area. Effingham County is the name of two different counties in the United States. One's in Georgia, the other's in Illinois. Springfield. There are, for whatever reason, over 30 Springfields in the United States. There's a Springfield in Effingham County, Georgia. Effingham County, Georgia. Why did I do this? WKTV 12 Morning News, Georgia. Springfield. Effingham County. Greta Jones, Georgia. Greta Jones, Springfield. You do find it next to the city Springfield under the county, Effingham County. You may need to do a deeper dive in a specific city and state to see if any locals have discussed the news in that area. Why don't I just do the search hole? WQTV 12 Morning News. You may need to do a deeper dive in a specific city and state to see if any locals have discussed the news in their area. Springfield, Georgia. County, Georgia. I don't understand what you're asking me. I don't understand what you're asking me. I don't understand. What do you mean I need to dive down? I don't get it. I don't understand. Vic Helmsworth, according to his own personal page, was apparently one of 3 brothers. All 3 of them are contributors to a newspaper called the Kikura Falls Gazette. It tends to focus more on the southeastern United States. Now, the articles he's written are archived on the site, including the long-form version of the review for a Barb Williams motivational show from 1997. According to Victor, he had seen Barb talk more than once. On this particular occasion, Barb's talk was at a very large church. Oh no, it was clear that she was an expert at matching the presentation of her concepts for any particular crowd. Because she received a standing ovation, Barb started with a story about loss. Specifically, the loss of a bicyclist who had been hit by a car. What a shame. She spoke about the death of any person as a darkness in their loved ones. A cold, empty void begins to creep into a space where there once was light. That's a beautiful phrase. Because the light could never return exactly how it once was. She says the only option is to nurture new sources of light to help fight back the darkness. That's a beautiful, yeah, it's nice. The conclusion was that finding the hidden means in tragedy is the most important thing we can do. What the fuck do you mean? Like, oh, sorry your mother died, but I guess it means you don't have to wash the dishes anymore. Like, I'm sorry? What hidden meaning, dude? To use multiple biblical comparisons. Oh, no. I thought she was a good person. And finished by looping back around to her initial story and how she personally began to come around to this ideology. The biker who died was her son-in-law, and the Lanes Across America charity was created to fill the newfound darkness her daughter experienced. It, the charity, was the light that began to fill the void, and she was doing everything she could do to help nurture it. Split up. John Doe. William Frank, married, guardian, adoption, or otherwise. What? Split up. Does it say when someone dies? I don't know. Guess we'll figure it out. Is the music dying for you guys, or is that just me? Testing? Hello? I guess the music stopped dying. Okay, good. Lanes Across America charity. Okay, well, let's see what happened to this guy. Lanes Across America, or LAA, is a charity focused on adding bike lanes to major cities. The pages and pages of news articles that mention Lanes Across America have a similar summary in them. LAA, formerly LAM, Lanes Across Miami, was founded in 1987 after the death of Drew Smith. Drew was biking home from work when he was hit by a car. Each year since, Lanes Across America has grown. They now have offices in over 12 major metropolitan areas, including Miami, where the charity began. The website for the charity has a picture of Drew. The validity added to your evidence. So I know where Sharon is, because this can't have been Sharon. Because look, married, they adopted one child, and the other child is over here. This child we know is married, so that's her. What's her name? This is Barb. Bruh. Williams. She is a speaker, public speaker. She has a daughter who lost their husband. So, you know, married and then married. What? Double married? Right, son-in-law. So one of them, so he's down here somewhere. LAM, Lanes Across Miami is the original name. Searching for Lanes Across Miami does narrow down the pages and pages of articles we found earlier to only those with a more in-depth history about the charity. You find some additional information. LAM was formed in 1987 and became LAA in 1994, founded by Sharon Smith after the death of her husband. Sharon and some other board members stepped down in 1992, and the current leadership took over. What? So, is it actually Barbara here? Maybe Barbara's over here. Does this make sense? Oh yeah, because then he died and then she remarried. That's why they did. That's why they didn't split up. That totally makes sense. That all makes sense. Because then, yeah. I'm just trying to think of like. This actually does fit with every other pattern. Sorry, I was texting my wife. Because usually you would say split up, right? So clearly this makes more sense. Public speaker. And then, but then what about the other daughter? Like, didn't he have 2 kids? He had 2 kids. What happened to his second kid? You had 2 kids. What happened to your other kid? Really? No one's gonna knock on my door? Nobody. None of these people. None of these people are gonna knock on my door. Wait a minute. Sharon Smith, Sharon Williams, her daughter. Because he has a daughter named Sharon Williams. Wait a minute, I'm stupid. He's survived by... because he's dead. You know what I mean? Where? He died in 1996, grew up an orphan. Sorry. Juggling hammers. He is survived by Ophelia, as well as his daughters Barb and Sharon Williams. So doesn't this imply that that's his daughters? So wait, so that's his daughters. His other daughter adopted his sister. Why would you do that? You guys are already like family. Like there's no point. What was the point of that? What? Wait, because this says adopted. Guardian, adoption, or other... oh, guardian. Guardian. Because the mother... the mother is gone. So assuming that she's much older and they're much younger. So Sharon was probably much older. That's why she became the guardian of her. Is that what it means? But then, like, why is the line over here and not over here? Like, wouldn't the line be over here instead to be like, this is now my, like, I'm guarding her? Because doesn't this imply that he's guarding her? I don't know. CEO. It's still confusing. Lanes across Miami. Sharon and some other board members stepped down in 1992 and the current leadership took over. One of the oldest articles has a full uncribbed version of the same wedding photo from the LA website. It seems that after Sharon left LAM, they began to crop her and the rest of her wedding party. Out of the photo to focus solely on Drew, who is the face of the charity. The full photo is added to your thingamabob. So Drew is Smith. Drew Smith. Drew Andrew Smith. You have the most generic name I've ever heard in my entire life. That's Drew. Wow, that's the hair. That's the hair back then, right? You were either a movie star or a porn star. I guess it's both the same thing. A partial wedding photo from the website for a charity called Lanes Across America. The rest of the wedding party is cropped out, right? The charity was folded, after she, okay. This is the wedding photo. Boom, boom, boom. That's the mother. That's the brother. Who are these people? Remember, not every piece of evidence matters. Not every piece of evidence matters. Not everything matters. So if I search up, I mean, it could be her though. I feel like that's her sitting with her sister. And then maybe maybe it's this? You know what I mean? Like, dun dun dun. What if he was, I'm putting my detective hat back on. He was killed. He was killed by his brother in a fit of rage for stealing the love of his life. So Andrew died. In return comes unknown name. Unknown name. What a great name. Oh, his name speaks volumes. Son-in-law, daughter. Yep. History. Vic Elmsworth. There was one more thing on the interview over here, actually. One more name on the interview. There was one more name. Isabel Crosby. Book bar for corporate retreats, church events, or even school assemblies. If you can customize... Wait. She can customize her message for any audience. If you're a speaker and you can customize your message for any audience, what are you speaking about? Like, what's your message? What's your morals? What's your values? What do you believe in? What do you care about? Like, why does it matter if you can say anything to anybody? Like, I can say anything to you and make you happy, but it doesn't mean that what I'm saying is right. It doesn't make sense. BRB, I need to use the washroom. I don't think she says anything meaningful. Let's go search up Isabel Crosby. Isabel Crosby. You can find no information about anyone named Isabel Crosby. Okay, how about the Benton County? Benton County. An Isabel Crosby, according to a flyer on Barb Williams' site, is the superintendent of Benton County. There's a Benton County in 9 different states in the U.S. There hasn't been a Benton County in Florida since 1950, so you're not sure which one Isabel Crosby comes from. Searching for Isabel Crosby doesn't lead to anything that seems to fit what you're looking for. Miami? I don't know. Isabel... What about I just do here? Isabel Crosby. What if I just search up Sharon Williams? Sharon Smith. Drew Smith, the guy who died, right? Hit by a car. Lanes across America. Wait, periodicals. Boom. Okay, lanes across Miami. Okay, well, Sharon Smith. Okay, well, Andrew Smith. Wait, Andrew Smith, that's his real name. Drew Smith. Drew Smith. Drew Smith. Drew Smith. What about Barb Williams? What's her full name? Her full name is actually Barbara Williams. Barbara Williams. Barb. But maybe they only know her by Barb. The motivational speaker. The fly has been added to your service. Okay. Like, what else do I do? Vic Elmsworth. Chris Elmsworth was the other brother. Chris Elmsworth. There's no Kikira Falls. Chris Elmsworth. Kikira Falls Gazette. How do I narrow down Isabel Crosby, Benton County? Isabel Crosby, Benton County. Isabel Crosby. You find no mention that feels like it could be related to your search. What? She was a superintendent for Benton County. What happened to Benton County? So it no longer exists. But why does it no longer exist? Since 1850. 1850? Jesus. Ophelia Williams? Smith? Who is Ophelia? Frank Wildcat Williams. Frank Williams, survived by Ophelia, and it's $2. She wouldn't have to change her last name. And once again, we're stuck with this idea of I don't know anybody's last names. They have 2 children. Sharon Williams has 2 children. We got the WKTV. Did I get the morning news? I did, right? No, I never did. I never figured this out. Wait, so how do you officially know online? You find it on the list of television. You may need to do a deeper dive in a specific city and state, see if any locals have discussed the news in that area. Oh, I get what's saying. You do the Miami. Or Portland. Morning News Miami? Florida. Georgia. What's the name again? Greta Jones. Greta Jones. Florida. Miami. Portland. Greta Jones. Greta Jones. Greta Jones. I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna go fucking crazy. Greta Jones. Barb Williams. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Okay, we just take a break. I don't want to use the duck again. Using the duck felt dirty. Like it was like I don't know. It just felt too strong. But the hint was almost so. But like this is the problem, right? I'm too stupid at the moment to know how to use it well, or how to do anything well in the game, because what the duck told me was so simple that I feel even more stupid. Like it just makes me feel bad. Why can't they do a hint system that doesn't make me feel bad, huh? It should say the hint and say, hey buddy, it's okay if you're feeling stuck right now. It's alright if you don't know what to do. That's why I'm here and I'm gonna help you. Sure, you may feel like an idiot now, but you won't feel like that later. In fact, you should feel totally accomplished. Because wow, you've gotten so far. You've gotten insert number of matches here before you had to use me. I'm so proud of you, man. It should say that every time you use the hint, because right now I feel awful. I'm done. I'm done. I don't know how to get her last name. It locked in? What do you mean locked in? What's your husband's name? What is your husband's name? Anyways, thanks for watching. This game is hard. I just wanted to go into it because I was like, maybe we're so close to finishing it that I can do it in one single moment and I can, be happy and be like, yes, I won. We're not even close. We're gonna have to duck the rest of our way through, but I don't want to do it because it feels dirty. It feels wrong. We'll come back to soon. I need to finish this game because it's actually been taking over my life. It's a bit like, that meme of that dude who's in front of a whiteboard and there's like a million connections into various things. That's me right now. I've been like that for the past couple days. I've been like that ever since I stopped streaming and I came back all of a sudden. Just trying to figure out who exactly are these people and what they've done. I've been trying so hard to figure out any possible links based on my memories of the game, because I don't even open the game while I'm not streaming, because I don't want to I don't want to feel the temptation of clicking the duck. The duck, look up. Look at this little icon. Look at that shit. Look. He stares at you. Wantingly. His mouth agape. Wantingly. His mouth is wanting. It craves. It yearns for the mouse. And if you give it, it's over. Your street cred as a detective is over. I'm gonna go to the bar like a good detective does. I'm gonna drink, look out the window, and then I'm gonna stalk my client to find out the real madness behind her request.